Guys and gals. Ralph is always first in line. He deserves a very large ice cream cone. Which I would love to have, but I would have to eat a whole pile of meat. What did he say? Huh? Hello? Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, don't worry about your cholesterol. Your body produces cholesterol, so. Your what's good? Your Bluetooth? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's good. Okay. I'll call you back later. I'm just starting to go live here, so I'll call you later. Okay. Okay, bye. Guys. Oh, yeah. Okay, now. I should have put in the airplane not the airplane window. The airplane. We're going to watch a video on, I'm not saying anything right now, okay? We're going to watch the description of an airplane wing as a beautiful video. They're going to show us the inner workings of a wing, and I'm going to point out to you what's wrong with the video, because they're not showing you an actual inside of a wing. I don't know why people keep doing this. And people keep saying, wow, there's lots of videos of them going inside of airplane wings, okay? But again, you're not thinking. You're not paying attention. And I'm going to teach you how to pay attention during this live stream, okay? Remember, observe what you're watching with your own two eyes, okay? We need to pay attention to detail. Okay, don't just sit there and be mesmerized by the video. Oh, look at the fancy video. Oh, that's a picture of this and a video of that, and blah, blah, blah. Adults lie. Every single one of you lie. And a lot of people are dishonest. And I'm getting tired of it. But anyways, well, let's move on. I need to get the stream going here on my phone. And I'm not being upset or mad or angry. I'm just saying the average adult lies, okay? They love to tell stories. They don't know the truth from the lies. So whatever. Anyways, I will start teaching people how to pay attention and question everything you look at. And supposedly, I've only recorded 1 star, according to some people. I don't know where the hell that came from. Obviously, they're not paying attention, okay? So let's get on with a few things. We're going to go over maybe a video or two of my, whatever those lights are flying through the sky. They aren't satellites, because you're going to have to explain to me why you think they're satellites and how your satellite dish on the side of your house that is pointing almost horizontally to the horizon, how it keeps up with those moving satellites that are moving. Remember, they're moving through the sky. So shouldn't your house or your satellite dish on the side of your house keep moving with that satellite so you could get signal properly? Anyways, we will show you them. And I didn't know satellites were self-luminous. We're going to have to figure out if they are or they're not, okay? Again, you need to comprehend what you're looking at. It's a satellite. Okay, if that's what you say it is, then let's ask some more questions, right? How does it work when it's moving? Why is it self-luminous? Why are there colors to it? We should be asking 5 or 10 questions as soon as you assume something that you assume it is. We're going to learn how to ask questions, observe. We're going to dig deep into questioning things, okay? And I hope DJ New Moon comes on today. If not, I want to ask you guys this question too, along with DJ New Moon, because he knows what the hell he's doing with computers. So here we go. Last Saturday night, when I was obviously not last Saturday, this week before that Saturday, when I was in Saskatoon, when we were driving around to all the nightclubs. Coming back from Saskatoon, I'm heading direct south. I think I was direct south, give or take a few degrees. Southerly direction anyways. I do have a dash camera in my car. So the previous, we're going to need to back up a little bit. Just before I went to Vegas, literally like 2 or 3 days before I went to Vegas, a deer bumped into me and he wrecked my grill and a little bit of the bumper. Me thinking, okay, well, my dash cam recorded it. I'll watch the video when I get home. Didn't matter if I had the video or not because I wasn't presenting it to the government or anybody else to collect insurance or get the car fixed. It obviously loops every 2 minutes. At least that's what my camera has been set for. Remember, every other camera is different. Well, Mike, they loop every minute. No, they should loop every 3 minutes. Again, you do not have my dash camera. Mine is set for 2 minutes. And so me thinking that I would still have the footage when I got home, I didn't. Because by the end of the memory card, it just keeps looping, obviously, but it deleted because I waited so long. But whatever, I could care less if I had the video or not. So I was thinking, if I ever saw something or I got into an accident, I should immediately take the SD card out so I have the footage. That doesn't work. And I'm hoping I can solve my problem. If not, a wonderful single moment in my life was not captured. But according to some people, you should be able to record things every single day of every night that is clear outside, right? Because things happen randomly all the time, on cue, every hour, every 3 minutes. And you should be able to record that as life goes on because it happens all the time, every single night, everywhere everybody lives. So I'm heading south. I turn onto, I think, Highway 2. I literally 2 or 3 minutes from the main highway, heading south on a single highway. A bright blue, whitish light falls from the sky all the way to the horizon. And I'm like, whoa, wasn't that spectacular? And I'm like, hey, my dash cam would have recorded that. But I hesitated and I took the SD card out too fast and didn't allow the 2-minute loop to finish. So I corrupted the video, but I'm hoping that I could still retrieve it somehow for somebody who knows how to do that kind of thing. I did phone a computer store in town, and they did say they could try to have a look at it, but they're not guaranteeing anything. And I would still have to pay them the hourly wage or whatever, the $60 that it was. So I've been keeping that because I'm not sure exactly what to do with that. I still have the SD card. It's still in my car, ready to go to somewhere where it needs to be taken apart internally, you know, and hopefully retrieve that video, because it would be absolutely amazing to have that video on my stream or on my videos. And it's not just a tiny falling star. Of course, they're not stars. Because if there was falling stars all the time, I'm pretty sure by now we would have no stars in the sky. Remember, we're asking questions. At least I am. Remember, we've been here for supposedly millions of years. Okay, so over those millions of years, supposedly, there would have been thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of falling stars over those course of millions of years. There would be no stars in the sky, guys. There would be at least half, or there would be a huge percentage of those stars not in the sky if they're falling stars. Well, Mike, we label rocks coming from space falling stars. They're not actually stars. Well, then what are they? You need to figure that out, because they're not, first of all, they're not going up from the horizon. Nobody's ever recorded a star going that way. And what the hell are they? And what are meteorites? Well, we're going to talk about that later. We're going to look at some pictures. One or two, because I kind of have a very tiny idea on what meteorites are. Because obviously we know, because I've confirmed it, that there is a firmament above us. So what's going on there? Is parts of the firmament breaking away? Sorry, I got popcorn kernels everywhere in my mouth. So we're going to look at the footage of my pictures from before, or I can just say it. But in relation to what I've been recording as pictures, not in the videos yet, but in the pictures, the night shot pictures that I have, that surface, the firmament, looks like those rocks, the meteorites. They're dark gray-ish looking rocks. Now, people would say, yeah, but Mike, the firmament could be glass. Well, I haven't seen any evidence of that, because I've seen it, recorded it as video and pictures. So again, if you think it's glass, show me proof or evidence of it. Man, we're going off on really technical explanation here. So I've been thinking about that statement too, how people think it could be glass. Or moving on to, yeah, but the sky is blue at some point, Mike. And I know it's sometimes blue, because supposedly, remember that sky rock fell from the sky, supposedly, that was crystal, like a beautiful bright blue. Supposedly that's why people think the firmament is glass. Maybe at some point in time, I will be able to record the firmament during the day. And yes, maybe the firmament does change color in relation to the gray-black that I've been recording, or into a blue or light blue color. I don't know if that's the sun doing that, electrifying the supposed gases in the sky. But we've got to sit there and ask questions. Okay, the sky's blue. Okay, but why? Where's it coming from? What's producing it? Let's ask all these questions. And then if we're not still satisfied, let's ask questions to the questions that we just asked. Okay. Oh yeah, I also have another thing too. Kind of going off topic here. Subaru. No, it's not Subaru. It's YouTube. I think might have fixed my mirroring effect on my phone or on my YouTube channel, because I have not been getting my notifications or the comments left in the videos as notifications. And I started getting those yesterday for some odd reason, just randomly. I haven't been getting them for months. So I always have to go back to the videos to see if I have any comments. I was not being notified of them until yesterday. So I did send them a message stating I'm having problems live streaming. So I haven't tested that out yet. So hopefully that would be very exciting for me, for my video to be proper. But we will continue on with that. Okay, enough of my blabbing already. So let's get on to some footage here. Like I said, we are going to watch we should probably do the airplane wing first, because I'm going to teach you a few things that we need to pay attention to. We all know how movies work, correct? At least I hope we do. When you're filming your set, your lines, whatever you're doing, that next 20, 30 seconds to a minute long, at least what you think is going on, or maybe that 5-minute scene. It's not a 5-minute scene. It's probably broken up into 10 different sections over the course of the entire day or 2 days that needed to film that 5-minute video. Okay? And every time the camera goes from here to there, to that position, to this position, that's 4 separate cuts. And in between those cuts could have been an hour or 2 in between those cuts. Or it could have been a half a day. And why are they cutting? Because they have to set up the next scene. They have to redo it. Maybe go to the washroom, have lunch, whatever it is they're doing in between cuts or scenes or whatever they're doing. So why are people doing it on YouTube? That's why I prefer not to edit my videos. I want everything natural as it is live. Or if I'm recording a video, I post it as it is. I don't like cutting to make it shorter, fancier, more intelligent, blah, blah, blah. Maybe my ego will be bigger if I know how to run a computer software program, because now I've produced a video that's fancy. I don't care, okay? So moving on, we will go to the description of an airplane wing, okay? And we will have to see if you see what I see, okay? I'm not saying there's no fuel on planes. It's just you need to show me where it goes. And just don't show me a freaking diagram from Google or point to something or say it's in the wings, Mike. Okay. Well, I've got a brain capacity of 500 pounds inside my head. Where would I show you that? I could draw you a diagram, sure. I'll show you a diagram of an enormous head with an enormous brain inside, and it's just going to explode the skull into a million brain fractures or bone fractures, okay? So again, we're needing to ask questions as we are presented with stuff, okay? I could talk about stars at this point, but I don't want to talk about that right now. We're moving on to other stuff. Jolly Man, good to see you there. Yeah, I'm okay for now, I guess. So yeah, let's get one of these videos going here. We'll watch it, and I'll have to stop it a few times, but oh yeah, I need to go to here and present. Hopefully the volume works. Why is that play thing there? All right, here we go.
By my esteemed colleague, Only Fancal.
Hello, everyone from Canada.
Today, we're going to take you on a little...
Okay. Remember this wing, folks. Remember this wing. You see how it's kind of oval shape and how freaking thin it is and how it's not square? Okay, the wing is not square. We can see that, correct? Remember how thin it is. Okay, let's move on very slowly here.
adventure and show you and teach you all about the wings and the wing tanks.
Yes, the wing tanks that you do not show us. Thank you. You show us something else. Again, you see how flat this is and how narrow, flat, and of course it's at an angle. It goes from a low point to a high point. So whatever fuel is over here supposedly is going to settle near the center here, give or take 4 to 6, 8 feet of this wing is going to be from here to here fuel. And of course, if the fuel does go out to the tip, which I highly doubt it does, as the airplane fuel dissipates, the level of the fuel will come down the slanted airplane wing and hang around this area as it runs out of fuel. Okay. At least that's what should happen, because we all know how liquid works and how the buoyancy and density works of liquid.
By the end of this video, you're going to appreciate wings a lot more. Trust me.
No, I'm not.
Just to get the simplistic factor out of the way, the wings of an aircraft are the fuel tank. That's
Yes, again, that's what you are stating, but you are not showing us.
right. If you didn't know this already, that's what it is. The wings are the fuel tank. But there's a lot more inside there than you think.
Yeah,
There's a variety.
what you're showing us, that's for sure. I'll show you that in a minute. And then we will go to a diagram, very sophisticated diagram of an airplane wing, the internal workings of it. And I'll show you that after this
Variety
video.
of architecture and baffling, fuel sensors, all sorts of fun stuff. We even got the opportunity to take a look at inside of a fuel tank, and you're going to see how complex it is. Without further ado, let's get at it. The first thing we're going to talk about
Are these access points that we do not see on the inside of the fuel tank. Okay, these are all along the wing, according to these guys.
is the fuel panels.
Fuel panel usually composed of a fuel panel, including a gasket, a ring, screws.
Again, here's the diagram of a wing here, okay? You see this diagram here? It looks like the internal walls that you have in your house with the studs in the walls supporting the gyprock. And so, yeah, again, that's not an actual diagram because that's a piece of junk. But I'll show you an actual diagram of what's inside of a wing, not this pathetic diagram.
And a mesh for bonding.
These panels also serve as protection, hence why they're known as impact-resistant doors. They also serve as access points to get inside the tank.
Fuel is not only used for the engine, it's also used for cooling. It could be used for trimming the airplane in flight and a lot of other components.
Yes, DJ New Moon. I'm going to interrupt this video for a sec. DJ New Moon, I was going to phone you earlier, but I thought you would show up on the video on the stream here. I have recorded a crazy-ass video on my dash camera, but I ended the video recording too soon. So the video is corrupted, and I could not retrieve it off the SD card. Is there a way of retrieving it? Supposedly the computer store I phoned might be able to do it, but they have not tried it yet. And I will have to pay the $60 an hour fee for that, whether they get the video or not. So I'm wondering if you would know how to do it, if I did send it to you personally, or if I should just get it done here at a computer shop. But I'm wanting, because I did not allow the looping video, which was 2 minutes long, to finish its 2-minute loop before I took the video out of the SD card out of the camera. So anyways, you can get back to me on chat or phone me later.
If we need to access a certain portion of the wing to change out a component or do an inspection, that's why they're all across the wing like that.
Yes, and we do not see them on the inside of the plane wing. Not a chance.
Up next, the little red dot that you saw right there.
At least the supposed fuel tanks that we're in. If we were inside that wing, I'm pretty sure we would see those. But when they do cut the video and insert a camera into whatever it is we're looking at, because they don't show you the full video entering the fuel tank. They just cut video and supposedly you're in the fuel tank.
There, that actually is a component. This is for your fuel stick. This is a way to manually measure how much fuel there is in the tank.
Yeah.
These are magnetic fuel sticks with a float. In case the aircraft fuel quantity indicators are going inoperative or malfunctioning, we as maintenance can perform a manual fuel reading.
On the older generation airplane, you could also find dripstick instead of dipstick. By moving the dripstick in and out, you could see the level of fuel depending if it was dripping or not.
Here's a perfect example of it. The aircraft fuel indication system was inoperative, and we had to make sure to measure the fuel tank values within the right tank. As you can see, the little probe is slowly moving up as they are fueling it. We take the aircraft's pitch and roll, and we utilize manuals to get the specific amount of fuel that is inside the tank. Once we have the desired amount, we will tell the fueling personnel to stop fueling. All of this is done according to maintenance manuals. Up next, we have fuel tank sensors. To be more exact, fuel probes. These are the things that actually measure the quantity of fuel within the tank. This ties into the computer system, which is the FQI, the fuel quantity indicating system. These components are scattered all throughout the wing. There are a variety of fuel probe designs, but the most common ones are capacitance type. The capacitance value of the probe changes in proportion to the depth of fuel inside the tank. When the probe is dry, the capacitance value is low, but as fuel moves up to the probe, the capacitance value increases. There's also densiometers within the fuel tank that measure the density of the fuel. As you can see, the fuel tank is not just simply a fuel.
Here's another one, guys. Somebody needs to show me a plane that is not operating. They do not use it as a plane. It is, there's something wrong with the structure of the plane. It's in the airplane desert or wherever they store all these planes. They need to go to these planes, open up one of the wings from the top, cut it out with a cutting torch. Stick a camera in there and you show me the actual fuel inside of a wing in the fuel tank. That would be the optimal proof that there is fuel in the wing.
Fuel tank. There's a lot more.
File maybe the camera model and ask on AI Copilot. Form it should lead you to software to extract it, but I'm not a pro at it, but should be that process. Okay, cool. I will try that and see what happens.
Or that goes into it. Up next, fuel sumping. Yes, fuel sumping is very important. This is what we do as maintenance to make sure there is no water within the fuel tank. Sometimes water or condensation does build up inside of the tank. Since the density of water is much higher than the Jet A or jet fuel, it will always drop down below the Jet A. This is why we have these little ports right here at the most lowest portion of the tank. So we as maintenance can go up there and sump the tank. This prevents corrosion as well as prevents any kind of biological growth within the tank.
Be careful if you have to replace one probe. Always read your because they all have different length and different location. If you're living in LAX like Stig, lucky you can drip fuel at any time. But if you're from Canada like me or in the northern weather, always check your outside air temperature. You cannot just sump the fuel at any time because there's a risk of the sumping drain freezing and you can create a mess of fuel on the ramp.
One other thing you have to remember is that this fuel is very cold, especially with aircraft flying at altitude. Take a look at this wing. It's ice cold. Some aircraft, such as the 777, even have heat exchangers that are within the tank itself. Other aircraft have them outside of the tank. They are either fuel-cooled oil coolers or hydraulic oil coolers. One system helps the other system out. Very cold fuel allows hot oil or hot hydraulic fluid to cool down, and the hot fluids allow
aircraft maintenance agents all watch Mikey. No, they don't. This is the first time like I ever talked about fuel, guys. So they know what she's exposing about them. Oh, what the heck. Hi, chat. I'm sure all of the aircraft maintenance guys that watch this channel will make that happen. Yes, well, they haven't had it happen since the beginning of time. So I'm still waiting for that one single video out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of aircraft flying around this world, supposedly with fuel in them. Nobody has ever shown me fuel in an airplane wing? The actual fuel. Show me it.
The cold fuel to warm up, but they don't intermix.
If you're working inside the hangar doing testing with hydraulic system, always ensure you have the minimum quantity of fuel required as per the AMM. For example, on the 737, you need at least.
Again, I will repeat, I'm not claiming they do not put fuel in the wings. I have never seen any evidence of fuel in an airplane wing. It would be interesting to solve this problem in a courtroom. That would solve the problem, would it not?
3,000 pounds of fuel for doing hydraulic testing for the proper cooling.
Up next, we also have fueling ports. Some aircraft have the capacity to fuel only from one side of the wing. Some aircraft can fuel from both wings. The fuel panels designate all the information that is needed, such as fuel quantity and pre-selecting fuel that is being pumped into the aircraft. Up next, we have another function that the fuel tank can perform, which is fuel jettisoning. Not all aircraft have this ability. Mostly wide-body aircraft do. The ones we're looking at right here is a 777. That little probe right there, or the pipe, is where the fuel will come out when they need to jettison fuel. Let's go take a look at the panel within the flight deck. Pilots have the capability of selecting how much fuel they want left on board. They will arm the system, select how much fuel they don't in case of emergency. If there needs,
Okay.
he is going to take us.
Again, we're going to look at the shape of the wing here. We are going to look at the shape of the wing. Please pay attention and observe. Remember the shape and how thin the airplane wing is. I should leave this up here all day so you get this image mastered in your mind. Let's have a look, and I will show you what I mean. Like I said at the beginning of the live stream, there's got to be more than that in here. What the heck? 32. There we go. I don't know why my screen does that. Okay, we got Ralph Flip Flap. Sorry, my screen, my live stream always goes goofy on me here. Shaylin, Jolly Man, DJ Moon's there, and yeah. All right, we're going to watch and pay attention here. They cut the video. If there was an actual tank inside the wing, they should walk up to the wing and continuously record them entering the wing and the fuel tank. But that does not happen here.
Inside of the fuel tank, the center fuel tank of the A330. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Just a heads up to everybody before anybody gets panicked or nervous. Every precaution has been taken.
So to enter inside the A330 fuel tank, you must access it from the main wheel well. Inside, you have two small access panels to get inside the fuel tank. Inside the center fuel tank, you hear
Tooling that is spark proof. The technicians that are doing fuel tank diving are very specialized.
If you have a lot of VOC in your fuel tank, you must wear a mask and the proper equipment to go inside.
They also use specialized equipment. Tooling that is spark proof. The technicians that are doing fuel tank diving are very specialized. They
Okay,
get very.
we're going to take a screenshot of this. And I'm going to show you something here. Side-by-side comparison, pictures and description, an actual description of what's on the inside of an airplane wing. Okay, Ryan S. is there. Good to see you, boys and girls. Okay, now we will go to that. I need to share my screen. Hold on, let's... I got to go to email and... Yeah, so give me a second here, guys. I need to go to email here and bring up an airplane wing. Very detailed image of what an airplane wing looks like inside. And then we will move on to what I think asteroids could be, or meteorites, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, Doki. So that's been downloaded. What else was I doing here? Screenshot. Okay, so need to present and share screen. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we go here and we will grab the pictures and screenshots. Oh, what's this? Downloads. Oh, there it is. So again, here we go, folks. The internal workings of an airplane wing. If you want to know what the airplane wing looks like on the inside, again, we will look for the huge fuel tanks somewhere located in this wing. I do not see one here. This is obviously two wings kind of on top of each other to get the full description of it here. We're still looking for the fuel tanks. Remember how open that wing was? Remember the cavities that the guy had to crawl through? I'm not sure where those are here. Let's just keep looking here. I don't see any cavities. I don't know what that is. Again, we're looking for the fuel tanks. Let's get the other picture, shall we? Downloads. Oops, that's not it. Where did I go? That's screenshots. What did I? Screenshots here. So again, here's the inside of that wing we were just looking at. Just again, they remember what happened? They cut the film and inserted the camera into whatever this is. This is supposedly the internal parts of the wing. I do not see any hydraulic hoses anywhere, any pipes, any lines going anywhere, no electrical lines. There is nothing inside this wing. We will go back to the picture here and we will put them side by side. Let's take a look here. Okay, I'll give you guys about 5 minutes. If you can find any of this equipment on the wing on the right hand side, let's see if we can find it on the inside of the wing here. Let's take a long look here. You could show me where. And I'll play some good music for you. Okay, here we go. And Michael, which category would you like? I would like bullshit for $400, please. Okay, the question is and where are the fuel tanks located on an airplane? Again, Alex, I will take bullshit for $400. Yes, we will keep looking and looking and looking and looking and try to seek and find any of this stuff in this supposed airplane wing. Remember, when they did this, they cut the footage. They did not show us a continuous shot from outside to inside this airplane wing, supposedly. airplane wing on the left, supposedly. Airplane wing on the right. On the right. That would be the opposite of the left. Okay, guys, let's have a really close look here. You know, they've got this really detailed here. So we're looking and seeking and trying to find these big, huge cavities in the airplane wing. Not in some kind of a tank with ribbing in it. I am not sure where this is located, but we will do our best to try to find this over here and this airplane wing with all these internal parts. I'll give you a minute here, guys. I want you to try to help me out understand, because remember, I'm dumb and stupid. I don't know what airplanes consist of. I have no idea how they fly. I don't understand pressure properly, and I have no idea where I live whatsoever. Okay? So again, we are looking very hard here, folks, for the diagram on the left here. Remember, opposite of right. So that would be the so-called fuel tanks. These are actually, this is one container, not tanks. Okay, so we're still looking. And I think we're about done, Alex. We can go to commercial. And we will continue on with reality. Would be absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm not saying there's no fuel in the plane. It's just nobody's showing me any. Ever. Go to Google. Google. It's not called Bullshit. Well, you could call it that too, but go look for an actual internal, not just a picture of a tank. Because yes, there are huge fuel tanks around, but is it an actual airplane wing fuel tank? Show me a continuous video from outside into the fuel tank. If I was going to show you the internal parts of this can, I would take, well, here, I'll do it right now. Let's take the video camera. Okay, here we go. We're going to go into the tank of the can here, and I will show you. Oh, there's the bottom there. See, it's all continuous. I didn't have to end the live stream and edit into something else. I do not have a stupid brain, okay, guys? I know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? Again, I am looking for proof, not edited videos, not bullshit videos, not cartoon images on Google. I've watched documentaries, lots of documentaries, tons and tons. I know how airplanes are built. I've watched many documentaries. I have never seen them put fuel tanks inside of an airplane wing when they are developing and designing and building the airplane wing. I emphasize the wing because that's where the fuel goes, in the wing, supposedly. I have 850,000 pounds of concrete in my intestines as we speak right now. It is filled and compacted with concrete. And along beside that concrete, I've got 17 alligators in my stomach right now. Here, watch. I'll draw you a diagram of my stomach with 17 alligators. I'll show you. I got proof. I've got evidence. Watch, I'll draw you my stomach. Horrible diagram of my stomach. Holy. Okay, now there's the line that goes up. I'll draw some alligators here. This is horrible alligators, but this is to the point. Okay, so we'll just draw squares with lines on them. So yeah, and see, there's even 17. This is my stomach. You see, isn't that a nice diagram of my stomach, guys? And these are actual alligators. Can't you tell? Can't you tell these are actual alligators? This is what stars look like on Google. Again, show me some freaking evidence. Let's take it to court, and you show me and the court these internal fuel tanks. And if you can show them to me, I'll shut up. I got no problems with that. I don't have a tail. It's not going to go between my legs. I'm good. But you haven't shown me anything yet, okay? And then again, you're not understanding how airplanes fly. Okay. Wait, oh, here. Is there any? There's not much water in this. I think I have one over here. Hold on. All right. An actual science experiment. Okay, here we go. We've got fuel in the airplane wing, right? It's sitting there on the tarmac. Okay, now we're going to take a hard bank to the left. Okay, guys? Are you ready? Because the plane might go lopsided very quickly here. We're going to turn to the left. So now all of that fuel goes to one end of the plane. Remember, sometimes there's only one entrance for the fuel to go. So they have to take it over on this wing over here, and it runs all the way over to this wing over here. It runs through the plane, and it fills up the wings. Okay? So now we're going to take a hard bank to the right or to the left, whichever one, it doesn't matter. Let's go this way. So now the whole right side of the plane has 50,000 pounds of fuel on the one side of the airplane. Because remember, they've been flying for 5 or 6 hours. So a lot of that fuel has diminished. So when they bank to the left, because they're flying over Saskatchewan, they're going to Chicago, they need to bank. When they load the effing airplane, guys, they don't put all the luggage in the front of the plane. And they don't put it all in the back of the airplane. Because they need the damn thing balanced. Oh my God. I used to drive semi-truck, guys. You need the weight balanced. You can't have 40,000 pounds of weight on the rear tires on the trailer. You can't have 40,000 pounds on your drive tires. You will not be able to steer your vehicle. Anyways, moving on. Let's move on to actual evidence and possible a little tiny theory I have, okay? I don't like talking about theories because I like to produce factual information, shit that I can produce, and that's what I do, guys, all right? Hold on here. Let me land my plane here. Seeing that some of us have a habit of doing things. Anyways. I will put the link into the stream. If anybody, maybe DJ New Moon wants to have a little chatterbox. Chat a little bit. Yeah, Jolly Man, you are a smart man. This is the thing. Let's talk about reality for a second here. Okay, now let's pretend. Hey, Ryan, good to see you there, man. I was on a. Hey, Ryan, get a damn haircut. All right. How you doing, man? Oh, are you on mute? Oh, you're on mute. Yeah.
Said I'm getting a haircut today. I swear I am.
Yeah.
You're starting to look like twins, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting all shaggy, man. Shit. What's going on, man?
Same old thing. I'm really surprised to see you talking about this airplane thing because I went through and did some research on it a while back, and I was really surprised to find out that you're right. There is no gas tank in the airplane wing. It's all hollow. It has to be, otherwise it wouldn't be able to plane the air, fly, right? Yeah. It's
well, and they're so light, and there's even stickers or decals on the airplane wing, and it says no stepping onto.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. If you can't step on it, how are you going to put gas in there?
Yeah, it's so brittle, man. Like it just flops there in the wind.
And it's all aluminum. Yeah, it's funny because there are gas tanks in there. I guarantee there's gas in there because it has to keep that spin going. But once it ramps up, they use compressed air to start it, and then they ramp it up. And once it gets going, I think it doesn't take very much. The only thing they really use the gas for is the afterburner or whatever you call it. When they add the gas to the mixture after it exits the engine, and then it gives you some thrust to give you some speed. But most of it is just they just fly. They just fly, like 200 or 300 miles per hour in the jet stream, and the jet stream speeds them up.
Oh, basically. Sure. Yeah. And there's the APU too. Does that run off of gas and fuel too, or no? That APU at the back of the plane.
I'm not really sure, but I know that you can hear the thing running before the plane even starts to push the jet. You can hear the thing going. You can hear the really high pitch. There's some compressor running in there.
Yeah.
So I always wondered the same thing though. Like exactly how does it work, and how much gas do they really use?
Yeah,
do they
exactly.
lie about it so they can sell you the tickets more, or is it something else?
Yeah. There's got to be something there, but these guys keep talking about these ginormous tanks, and again, I've watched tons. There's this one guy. He's in there, and again, you need to wear a gas mask or something. Like I don't get like, and when they go in these tanks, there's never any fuel. Show me a little bit of fuel in there.
Can you imagine if you did have a tank that big, they don't let people get into them.
Yeah.
They only do that when they're building them, when they're welding the tank together. After that, once gasoline goes in there, you're not allowed to get inside of there without special equipment. I mean special, not just a gas mask. We're talking a suit, a fire suit, and all that. Yeah. I'm not sure that there's any gas tank that's big enough that you would have to get inside to service it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Very good point, actually. Yeah.
But I'm open to evidence. If somebody has evidence of the plane showing where the tank is and it's got photos of it, and I would be willing to look at it, but I honestly don't think it's.
Yeah, well, why would you even need to get into a fuel tank? If the fuel pump is in the tank, okay, get the fuel pump out and grab it, and you're done. But you don't need to go crawling through it and roast marshmallows, have a barbecue in there. It's a fuel tank.
If there's a puncture in a tank, usually they just remove it before they work on it. They don't work on it inside the plane. So why would it be in the fuselage of the wing? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
That hollow spot is there to make sure that the buoyancy is right, so that it can actually lift the weight that's in the belly off the ground, which is where you're sitting. So think about it. And you're right. They have to balance it out, of course. Yeah. Everything has to be symmetrical, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot. And then again, whatever's what was his name here saying about reality here, and that's the thing. Everybody has their set programmed reality. Everything is correct. Whatever the government says, whatever I see on TV, whatever I see in cartoon magazines is all real according to them. It's their reality, but it's not real reality. They haven't broken through that bubble. They're inside their bubble, and they got to break through that wall. You know,
We
it's
have to admit it's difficult to do that when you've been literally brainwashed to do the opposite. You know,
yeah,
like I don't blame people. I don't get angry at them for that.
yeah.
What I get angry and mad for is when they think they know what they're talking about and they come to an argument where they don't have any evidence to present, but yet they think they're right. Like, come on, you know, like show us some evidence, and I'll be willing to stop saying what I was saying if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the truth. That's what the community is all about, is being honest and being truthful, right? So I mean,
Right.
but if you do that, then
I talked about this years ago, like probably just when the so-called pandemic was happening. Maybe 4 years ago, I talked about this a little bit. And again, I was watching documentaries, like I said, the whole construction of an airplane wing. They had it like vertical, you know, like sideways, so you can look through it like a knife almost, you know. And I'm just like, oh, and that's where the fuel tanks go. And then, but they don't show you anything. They never have and never will. There should be hundreds of pictures and videos of fuel tanks. I can go show you every car in my parking lot that it has a fuel tank.
I was thinking they were taking pictures of a B-17 because those big old bombers, they have huge, like open panels like that inside of the wing. Like there's huge areas just empty like that. So I was thinking maybe they just took video of just the air pockets that are in one of those bigger cargo planes. Yeah. And that's what they were infusing there. But I can't be sure, you know, but yeah, you're right. It does look like they switched the camera and then they show the guy standing inside it. He probably went to one of those boneyards and got inside the wing of some big, you know, C-40 or whatever, some big cargo plane where you could stand inside of the wing, you know,
or even just a fuel, or even just a fuel tank of anything. It could be a farmer's fuel tank. Could be anything.
I don't know. I've never seen a fuel tank that had that many like dimensions to it, bro. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it just looks to me like that's aluminum welded for strength. You know, that's the way they weld it for strength.
And most of them are square. They're not flat like a wing. You know, it's
exactly.
I've been on this years ago too. I don't know. I just came up to mind. I'm just like, I got to change something on my YouTube. I talk about stars too much and firmament junk. I'm like, what else can I talk about? You know, so.
Yeah, well, there's lots of fun stuff to talk about. Just remember, it can all get us in trouble too.
Yeah, I know. That's why I always think, I'm like sitting here, should I talk about this again or what should I do? But I don't
like
care.
I said, I think if you present evidence and that's what you do, you know what I'm saying? Like what you're doing, you were showing the picture of the wing and you're trying to figure out the answer to the question. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I think is wrong is when you make an assumption based on whatever you heard and then you jump into it without actually investigating it. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
We can all find the answer and the truth if we just go to the right places. But I'm not sure that Google is always the best place to find it, considering they use algorithms to cover up certain particular subjects. Yeah, that would tell me that I would, or I would remove that particular part of the algorithm before I tried to use that to search for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not very savvy with that, but just saying, you know, that would be the way to go. I usually do research, not just on Google, but I'll do YouTube searches. I'll do book searches. I'll go and look on the library websites. I'll look for etymological. I'll look up the words that they use so that I can figure out what those words actually mean. And if those words change meaning so that I can understand like what maybe they're trying to make us say, even though we're not saying it, where we don't think we're saying it, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's how they trick us.
What was I gonna do? Oh, I'll do this one. Or I didn't do anything yet. I better cancel that. I'll just go back to this again. I wanted to show people. So I was looking at meteorites, and the texture of them kind of look like the firmament to me. You know, I'm trying to figure out where these meteorites come from. You know, I do
the same thing. That's actually come up in my day to day the last few days.
Yeah.
Because I've seen another video of that big old whatever that thing is that came down in Russia somewhere or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, I know that's not coming from outer space, but what is really coming down, right?
Yeah. What is it? Yeah, like what's
are they dropping things from high altitude on purpose that are on fire? I mean, we know that they do that with. I mean, they drop those flares and whatever, and they have different reasons for doing that. But
you never know.
It could be some kind of a technology thing, you know, that we're just not. I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? So it's kind of hard just guess it until you kind of like dig into it. But
yeah, or multiple different things, because like they could be doing that, and there could be actual things falling out of the sky. But what it is or where it's from, like, yeah, that's two different things. I don't know, man, but yeah, it's.
Well, I think we all of us realize that it's possible that pieces of the dome could be falling loose, and maybe maybe the dome itself is made of some kind of gas that, when it gets to a lower pressure, actually does explode. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any chemical that does that naturally on our alchemical, chemically. But I'm sure that there's something near that, and I'm sure that would make more sense to me, that it would be some kind of physics thing that's probably rare that you see it or hear about it, but it's probably explained pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Once you understand what you're dealing with. I'm not sure if the sky is liquid oxygen or what it is, but
yeah, I have no idea.
Like you said, it looks like it doesn't stay solid completely. It morphs. It's kind of like a fluke, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of the pictures that you posted, bro, and it looks like something's like it's moving.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, like it's growing, and I don't know, dude. It just looks creepy to me. Almost like it's a of some kind, and that makes me think, okay, well, maybe without pressure, maybe oxygen does turn back. I don't know. Lots of theories and ideas, and like, that could be possible, but I'm not really sure anybody's even looking for the answer to that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Maybe NASA, but
yeah, and
quiet lately.
Until we go there, if it's even possible. So I don't know.
Right.
If I ever had the money, I'd be setting something up there with a camera pointing that way, 2 or 3 cameras pointing that way.
I have 360 cameras all around the rocket, all up and down it, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I spent all my money on, was be the camera system, so you can see and the pressure sensors and all that shit. Yeah. That way there's no argument. Oh, well, it was spinning, that's why it looks that way. No, we're not gonna play this game. You know what I'm saying? I've got picture, that's going around.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the the supposed space station doesn't have cameras everywhere on it. You'd think they would have put that on there when they built the damn thing, because they would want to be sure so that way if something's coming at them and they're not looking at that point. I mean, you would think that there would have to be a camera system just to monitor meteorites and things, right? Just to make sure something's not coming in from some angle so you can see it.
Exactly.
When you're flying an airplane, you have to be visually looking around to make sure there's not other planes on your level. You know what I'm saying? Because you could come out of nowhere and just smash right into you. You wouldn't even see it, because you're moving such a high rate of speed.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's another thing you got to remember too.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Sorry, I'm mumbling. My bad.
No, that's good. No. I'm trying to think of stuff to say, but what else have I written down here?
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if almost everything that we hold dear and think is true is probably not real.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, gasoline. I don't think we ever needed gasoline. I think gasoline was a purposeful thing. It was they found it in the ground and thought, well, it's going to be leaking out of the ground anyway, so we're going to have to tap and we're going to have to resource it, right, and keep it from spilling out and hurting people. So if we're going to have to do that anyway, why not just use it? Let's figure out ways to use it. So what does the government do? They send all these scientists over there to start testing this sludge that comes out of the ground. Next thing you know, they've got gasoline, they've got asphalt, they've got all this shit. And next thing you know, they're spreading it all over the United States, all over the world, right? The whole world's covered with asphalt now, all because of what? Because somebody decided they wanted to sell crude oil, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that whole oil thing, I think is the blood of the earth, oil.
Yeah, I think the earth creates it. Yep, I think you're right. Some kind of process of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
Now, when it comes to black goo, on the other hand, I'm not even sure I believe in that. Just thinking about black things. For some reason, it just pops in my head, that black goo.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that stuff. Like, I see all these videos and I see all this stuff in movies, and I think, okay, where did this idea come from? Because, like, before, like, 90 something, I don't remember hearing anything about black goo ever. Never heard of the stuff. And then all of a sudden in like 2000 something, it was like everybody's talking about it. It was like, where did this idea come from? I don't remember anybody ever talking about that. And then I seen it and I looked back and I found it in a couple of movies and I thought, oh, I didn't even notice that. It didn't even occur to me that that's what they're talking about.
What black glue? Black goo?
Yeah, black goo. It's supposed. Okay, I don't know. You probably ask somebody else that knows more about it, but from what I've heard, black goo is some kind of evil liquid that like has demons in it or something weird like that. But supposedly, if you get it on you, it'll like possess you.
Oh wow.
And it like moves around. It like has its own mind and it can like move. But I've never seen anything like that before. They usually show you demonstrations of that fluid that has metal in it, like liquid metal, and then they roll it around with a magnet and they tell you that's like goo. But yeah.
Do you remember Ghostbusters Part 2 when they had that slime over them and it made them angry? Remember?
Yes.
That's
different. Well, that was but that's a metaphor, right?
Yeah.
So supposedly there's this stuff called ectoplasm, which doesn't exist, of course.
Yeah.
But in colleges they still study paranormal stuff, right? Ghosts and things like that. They're still looking for evidence. Okay. So there are schools that still study this stuff, but mostly what paranormal is basically like your mind, like your memories and stuff. Can they survive? Like once your spirit leaves your body, can your memories manifest themselves and stick around and cause effects on the earth after you're gone? Now, a lot of people believe that, but that's really what they're testing for. And they test for like remote viewing things. This is the kind of stuff that paranormal is really. It's basically like things that you can't explain, like people claiming they can see things from a distance and they claim they can teach you how to do it. I don't know about all this stuff,
Yeah.
It's usually attached to aliens and Bigfoot and all that crap, and I just don't have time for that. Like
Neither do
maybe
I.
maybe there are some kind of like big apes still left in the world that live underground, but I honestly don't think they're like superheroes that can throw you. Like all these stories are so completely ridiculous. They're like, yeah, it was like 8 feet tall and 20 feet tall, and it broke and it pulled trees down that were the size of my truck, and they just broke them over. I'm like, dude, shut up with that stuff, man. We all know that's bull crap. You saw some ape-looking like thing that was hunched over, running in the dark. That's all you saw, and you convinced yourself it was a monkey, man. Come on. Especially here in the desert, man. Monkeys don't. There ain't no monkeys in the desert, bro. I'm sorry. Oh no way. So I don't know what you saw, but there wasn't any of those.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's just hilarious though. Sometimes it's like how ridiculous the things that we all claim. Maybe that's true. I'll admit sometimes I do think things might be a little bit true. Like Loch Ness. There's a possibility there's a big ass dinosaur-looking fish in the water. It's possible. But what are the odds, though, right? That no one's caught one, and the only pictures we have are ridiculously cheesy pictures of like a wooden head sticking up out of the water. It's like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, and the alien photos are always like some gelatinous looking thing laying on a bed and they're cutting holes in it. It's like, dude, this doesn't even look like, it looks worse than damn, those Japanese, King Kong and movies and stuff like that. They make Godzilla movies. It's like ridiculously bad. Yeah. Not convinced. Show me. I want to meet this alien. If they exist, then let me meet one. Don't tell me, oh, well, you can't do that. Well, that's a lie because that's your cover story because you can't provide evidence.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And what you said earlier, Mikey, is something that's important that everybody remembers that. Is that in a court of law, 99% of the stuff that we hear people arguing with us, that the stuff they bring to us ain't worth a shit that it's written on. It's just here. That's all it is. It's some scientist claiming, okay, well, I'm a scientist and I'm smart, so I think this is what it is. Okay, well, that's a good idea, but that's just a theory, bro.
Yeah.
It's only a theory. Yeah, I get it. You're an educated man. But does that mean that you could think and second guess every little detail that of how nature and physics merge in that way? You don't.
Yeah.
You obviously don't, right? And most of these guys don't study other sciences around their own. They only study the one. So it makes me wonder, like, isn't that compartmentalization on the surface? Isn't that just what it is? Like when you think about it, they force you into one career, they force you into one job. Think about that. Think about how that really affects you. You get this idea that you can just have one job and never have to have another one, right? And I almost did it. I had quite a few jobs, but once I got older, I was able to hold down a job for a good 8-10 years at a time, with no problem. But it took me a long time to actually learn what people wanted from me, anyway, I don't want to change the subject, but yeah, you know where I'm coming from, right? It's like, things are logical. And when you just start bringing up stuff that you can't prove, like, why waste your time with that, bro? If you're really about science, then bring me scientific evidence. Don't play games with me and tell me that, oh, well, my theology and my theological science overrules your flat earth. It doesn't, bro. You need to prove the stuff. Not just tell us that you think it is or say nuh-uh or trust me or because the government told me that. It doesn't work like that, bro. You have to have evidence. So let's do this. Let's pretend like we're in a court of law. Let's only deal with evidence. Let's only deal with manifested people that have witnessed it, this kind of thing. None of this crap where it's hearsay. Well, this guy told me that, this scientist says this and that, and we don't know what the hell this scientist thought because he's dead. He's been dead for 200 years. How are we going to read his mind? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Okay, remember, I was just going to look at some of my videos. I think I had some here to show here. Share screen. What do I got here? Oh yeah, that you like that one. I was going to review that worm thing coming out of the moon again.
Please do, bro. I want to know what the hell that was, because I've been trying to like figure out, okay, is this like a natural phenomenon or is this actually a being of some kind that we're seeing?
Yeah. Oops.
You know what I'm saying? That's a terrifying thought.
Let me put the screen.
I love this stuff. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, this one. Okay, so what am I doing here? Now, what am I doing?
I also wanted to ask you, when you watch this video, for you guys in the chat or whatever that haven't seen it yet, I want you to pay attention to the way this thing attaches itself and detaches from the moon itself. And tell me, when it's attached to the moon, does it not look like the moon? Doesn't it look like it's disguising itself as the surface of the moon? And then as it flies off, it changes. Tell me what you guys see and what you think about it, because I thought that's the way I see it.
I will post the original video.
Yeah, and I'll go frame by frame here too.
It could be.
Yeah,
it could be plasmatic. It could be some kind of electricity type thing, right?
Well, I think too, but there's also more. You see, there's one there, one there.
The whole ship attached to it, like they're suckling on it, like it's some kind of thing they can eat. It's weird.
I wish I knew this was happening when I was recording it, because I would have been able to get more, probably.
Right, right. Yeah, you didn't notice it, obviously. It just kind of popped in there because Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't even know this happened until I was live with Russian Vids on Skype, and he noticed this.
Oh, I thought maybe I was the first one to notice it, but it doesn't matter. But but I thought it was pretty interesting. I was blown away when I saw that. I was like, and that little laser beam thing. I didn't know you were shooting a laser. I had no idea. When I saw that blue flash, I was like, maybe that caused that to happen.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, so I want to try to do that again, but I don't know if I can ever see those things again, or my laser had something to do with it, or what. But if that happened because of my laser, then I was interacting with the moon, and that is a crazy thought to even think of.
Yeah, that means you actually nailed it, which means it is something solid, or at least it affects things.
Yeah, or we can.
That's so weird. I seen that. I was like, what the hell, Mikey? What? I didn't even know you were playing with lasers that day.
Yeah.
Weird. Doesn't it look like the moon itself is moving? Like it looks like it's almost like it's I don't know. See what I mean? How maybe that's just the angle that you have so you can see it, right?
Yeah.
But look how it seems to be moving, like it's drifting up and down. It's moving.
Yeah, my camera was on a tripod. That was with the. Did I have the P1000 at that time? I think no. Maybe. What was the P1000?
I'm not sure exactly, because I think it was an older video.
Yeah, it probably would have been 900, I think, maybe.
It is trippy.
But this is, and like I said, it flies way out. And this is not the original video. Well, this is the original video, but this is a recording of my computer screen with my phone. And it comes back over to this bottom left. Yeah, it comes down to the left there. And so there's something going on here. Whoops. What did I do there? Wrong button there, yeah. So like it goes way out. You can still see it there flying.
Told me that he witnessed something that he never thought he would see before. He said that he was watching the horizon when the sun was coming up, and he said, or when it was going down, and he said he saw the stars moving from below the horizon and moving up into position, like as it got light out. He said he witnessed that. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He goes, no, I'm serious. He goes, I seen stars coming from different directions, moving into place, and then stopping in the spot where they're supposed to be, and then that's what became the sky the rest of the night. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. And I was starting to think
that was probably some phenomenon happening due to the moisture or something. That can't be happening.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. It's like,
Because again, everybody would see that, not just him, you know.
right. But I don't doubt that he did see something. But yeah, it makes me wonder. Like,
Yeah, it would have been some kind of weird phenomenon happening at that point or something.
but these wiggly things are definitely got my attention.
Oh yeah, no, this is freaking. See, like you can see right there. You can see there's one there. They all look like figure eights or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some up
And
here. Oh,
they seem
man.
to stay still when they're attached. It's just really weird. Right?
Yeah. Oh,
Really
I want to get that. I'm gonna start looking at the moon more often. Oh, oh, yeah, that.
It was cool though. It's almost like you did hit the moon. It does look like that beam actually does reflect somewhat, doesn't it? Or pull it down a little bit more, can you? Right there. See how it does seem to light up the face of the moon somehow,
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah. Or even up here, it almost turns blue at the top there too.
Yeah, it does kind of, doesn't it? Or is it just my mind?
I don't know.
Or is it just the angle of the beam coming this way that makes it seem that way?
It could be. I don't know,
But it is weird how you hit it. You hit the laser hits and boom, that thing pops right off of there.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, like it's like literally timed perfectly, bro. There's no argument. That's definitely like I would say that was a reaction.
Yeah. See, like blue laser thing appears off the moon right there. Literally a frame later.
That's crazy. It's so wide, bro. But you know, like it started out as this little tiny laser beam, and then it.
Yeah.
What kind of beam? What kind of was it? A green one or a blue one or what color was it?
Yeah, 7-watt blue one. Yeah, 7-watt blue one.
Oh, okay. One of the really bright ultraviolet ones. Yeah, those are awesome. I got one of those too.
Yeah.
You can burn holes and stuff with it. Yeah. Fun.
But yeah, that's crazy. Literally, the next frame, laser, and then thing appears within the next frame. You know. Well, like it's not even there, and then it appears. What the heck?
Reaction thing, because I've seen things in the sky react to me before too with the same laser.
Yeah.
I've seen lights moving around that I know wasn't a plane because planes aren't allowed to turn their lights off, right?
Oh,
this
sure.
thing turned the lights out and then changed colors and then moved again. I was like, that's not an airplane. I hit it with a laser and it turned around and looked at me. It scared the shit out of me too. It really did. It scared me because I knew it. It literally just like I could see a beam of light pointing around like at the ground and around like it was looking for something, and then it looked at me and the light went out and I ran in the house. It scared me. I was like, I know it's not a helicopter, I know it's not an airplane, so what in the hell could it be that it actually shined a light at me, like it identified where I was, and then it just shut the light off and then it disappeared. It was almost like I'm letting you know that I know you're there. You know what I'm saying? It scared me a little bit. It's probably my exaggeration, but I know what I saw. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, bro. It was really crazy.
Well, I know. Yeah, just odd things happen to people once in a while, and things happen to me because I'm always outside doing things, you know, like.
Yeah, if you watch the sky a lot, you're going to see stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy how that just appears. Like, that was weird. It's like almost like it detected my laser and said, holy shit, I need to put up a defense. And that defended.
Or it was like, shit, I got to move out of the way because that hurt or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so weird. It wasn't there. Like, it's literally not there right there. And boom.
And it's like they just phase into existence all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You notice that? How the surface, it's like instantly that laser like caused it to like change into those little ring looking things and spin off.
Yeah.
It is strange, bro.
Yeah, it looks like a headset almost right there.
Right.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, it looks like a pair of headphones flew off.
And there's got to be like there looks like there's like one every like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's like at least a dozen of them there.
Which makes me wonder if it is a plasma, and maybe those are some kind of beam that feeds off of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But I thought, but I've always like in my mind, I'm always convinced that the moon's not really a solid object.
No, I don't think it is either. I really don't.
But if these things are entities of some kind, maybe they're what make it possible for us to see the moon. Maybe they create it by being there and attaching themselves to it, or in that place. I don't know, dude. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'm trying to think logically of how this could explain what the moon is, but I can't see it. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes my brain go, "What? Huh?" Like how would that work?
I'm just gonna do a couple of screenshots here, and we'll zoom in on.
You can see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see them all down the edge there.
Yeah, there's at least 12 of them there, man.
it's weird because it looks like the moon is changing shape in these three little clicks that you showed. It looks like the surface is changing shape. Do you agree?
Yeah. Oh, sure. I'm just gonna bring up the screenshots here.
It's crazy though. Like, I've got it zoomed up on the big screen on my computer now, and I can
Oh,
see
sure. That's good. Yeah.
it better. I want to get it on the big screen and look at it really good, but I know that's not easy.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it and then zoom in for everybody. So.
And yes, in case you guys are wondering, I am nervous when I'm in front of a camera. I don't know why.
You're nervous being in front of the camera? Oh, interesting.
I don't know why I am. Well, you see me moving around and shit, right? Like, it's just something that I do, I guess. It's a maintenance thing.
Yeah.
To help me feel more comfortable, even though it doesn't really do that. It's just I just kind of look like a weirdo just going like this all the time.
Yeah. Well, now we can zoom into these things. Look at this one. Look at, they're just coated. Like, what is that? Like, but what? I wonder if that's on the, like, if there is a backside to that. I wonder if that's on the, like, the inside of the apple skin, type of thing.
Right.
Look at that. Just crazy.
I wonder if it's not like literally a picture of something that's being beamed up there. I don't know. Because if you think about it, if the moon was just an image that they were superimposing into a lens in the sky, let's just say for an argument's sake, okay, and the actual physical part of the lens actually had bugs on it, right?
Yeah.
And you beam light through that lens down to here, so where you could see it from your position, wouldn't that be what it would look like? The reflection of light coming off the bug as it flew off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what we're seeing. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I can't figure this out. It's really confusing to me. Like how this explains anything. You know what I mean? It's just more like, okay, now I understand any more than I did before.
Yeah, it makes it more confusing. Yeah.
But it is.
That's it. I'm going to start recording that moon more. And see, that was my binocular.
Other videos. I have caught a couple other videos where there's these. You don't see them jump off, but you do see them clinging on there.
Yeah. So there's it is way off the moon.
I want to know how come the surface changes.
Yeah.
It's just strange, bro. It's like a chameleon or something.
It almost looks like there's almost, like, I don't know if this is one or if it's two stacked on top of each other or side by side, like standing in line at Walmart type of thing,
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Because they kind of phase out when you try to zoom in on. They're like blurry and stuff.
Yeah, but
they definitely show up. They're definitely there.
Yeah,
but they don't look like they're part of the moon. They look like they're maybe not part. You know what I mean? Like they're attaching themselves to whatever that is.
Yeah. Huh? Just psycho.
It could be that they're in water too. That would explain why they move the way they do. But I don't even know. I'm just trying to think of all the like different things that you could like all the angles you think of, like how this could show and make us figure out what the moon is and how it works. But by the life of me, I can't. I would
sure like to, if I ever take if I ever go to trial with space agency, I'd love for them to explain to this one.
Yeah, I would too. I would love to hear what they have to say. Like if they're being serious, of course.
Yeah.
I'd rather pick some general, like meet some general or something at some get together and just ask him, like show him the video and then be like, what do you think this is? Like we're just curious. What do you think this is?
Yeah.
Some kind of anomaly that we should know about? Okay. You see the look on his face. That is wicked weird. And it's like they're little sixes.
Yeah.
Like they're little sixes, dude. Isn't that crazy how they like attach in like a six? They say it's like a six.
Yeah, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6, 7. Yeah, there's 8 or 9 or so around there, and possibly 10, but we can't really tell. But yeah, this could be one way down here, maybe. But yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I noticed that. But what was the now trying to get that to happen again? Holy moly, that's good try with that one.
That's the other thing, is that you don't see this every time you look at the edge of the moon. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have seen it in other videos besides yours, so I know that it's not, it's not just something you found. It's been seen before. It's just, I think most people just assume that it's some kind of a lens flare or something, right?
Hmm.
But a lens flare doesn't look that. It doesn't usually focused up like that. Like that looks like you could see the detail of it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But the life of me, I can't explain what that is though. Looks like hair.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Looks like curly hair.
I wonder if it was the moon. Like, see if when it's like, see, I think the moon is degenerating and regenerating. So when it's regenerating or rebuilding,
Thing. Yes. And maybe these things are part of how it does that.
yeah, like it's like collecting its energy or whatever the heck how it forms. I have no idea, but or of course it's not collecting. Well, I guess it would be kind of like a magnet collecting iron filings, that type of a deal.
Right. Yeah. Over time, yeah, you're eventually going to collect. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and then one of them jumped off or something due to another.
Moon almost reminds me of when you're looking through like an X-ray.
Yeah.
You ever notice it's always like polarized, like it's black and white.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
See how it's like even transluminous, like the edges of it are luminous, like you can see through it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it isn't there, right? It's like it is plasmatic or something. Well, I always say plasmatic because I don't know. I'm assuming plasma usually turns blue in, like a flame. So I'm assuming that maybe it has something to do with it. But have you looked at a lot of the NASA stuff they've got? Because I think, Mikey, you might find some of the stuff they do have in there interesting. Some of it kind of matches up with some of your stuff. Like
some of NASA stuff.
They do a shuttle thing where they do a space tether. Now I'm not sure where you attach a space tether to. But I think it's interesting that they do this a lot, where they go up and they tether things supposedly to nothing but the sky, but I don't know how it works. But I've seen this
filmed?
And it was just floating.
That would be filmed in the pool, would it not be?
Well, but what if they really are taking photos of up there? They're just not showing them to us.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we get lucky and we catch it in one of their films where they didn't delete it.
Yeah, I've seen that tethering stuff like 100 years ago, but of course I thought that was space when I.
Yeah, it was from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, but still, it's way better. But it makes me wonder though, like were they just trying to sell some bullshit because it looked like more interesting than these metroplexes and these space lettuce? I mean, that's really all they tell us nowadays, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the moon next year or the year after, and we're gonna go to Mars and whatever it is. Who's we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
we? Wow. Good luck with that guy.
Craziness. So these are the next binoculars I'm getting. I don't know if you've seen those before, but these are.
They're monsters. I've seen them on Amazon. I want some too, but
yeah, they're. Oh, are they on Amazon? I didn't see them there because these are.
They make cheaper versions. I'm not sure the ones they.
Yeah, no, these are the original ones. These are made in Germany or something, and they're 40 times 110s, and they're $2,100 Canadian. So.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Oh, here's some. I went
How much
over.
do they weigh? They look like they weigh like 14 pounds.
Yeah, 14 pounds.
Oh my God, I was right. That was pretty close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane. And you don't think that's a lot until you have to hold it in front of your face for a while.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is some of this?
Propping yourself up on something.
Just some more stuff here. What's I don't know what else to show, but
I'm wondering, can you order lenses from some company? Would they make lenses for you to make your own stuff?
Make my own.
I'd like to make a lens that's big. I mean, big.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I want to make like a big lens that I can use to melt things with the sun. And I mean,
see.
I'm talking big. I'm talking like 12 foot across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can get someone to make that or not. And what would I make it out of? Crystal or what kind of glass would I use?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I've seen those binos before. Yeah, let's paste.
Somebody said in the chat, somebody said, we could all get a blue laser and help the moonworms communicate.
Yeah. Well, hey, just get three or four of us with a 7-watt laser and point it at the moon and see what happens. Or even at Polaris.
I was convinced that even a strong laser wouldn't reach it, but now I'm starting to wonder after seeing
Well,
that.
I've got those pictures. I made that light beam curve. I don't know, man. That moon is not far.
Something, bro. I'll agree with you on that. You know.
Yeah, it's not far. I can tell you that much. It's
no, those binoculars don't record. I don't think. I think they're not. I don't think they make. Do they make digital binoculars, Mikey?
I have no idea.
Like,
any binoculars will record if you hook your cell phone up to them.
Right, but I'm saying, do they naturally have a camera like eye inside of them?
I don't think they do. No.
Yeah,
No.
they're just made for your eye. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That would be something. Wow, like an internal memory. Oh boy,
That'd be awesome.
but
I have
yeah, but that doesn't. When you say that, it's not beneficial because when you attach your phone, now you have more zooming capability. You're only limited to what the binoculars can do if it's internal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, unless it had a zoom lens on it as well. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You're right, though. That makes sense. And you could also, that's true. And you could also probably make that better by putting a bigger, like you could probably make a lens that would fit onto the binoculars that would widen it out to where you could get a better look at it too, right? There's different ways you can.
Yeah. Well, there's. You guys talk.
What's up, dude?
What's up, Brian? What's going on? First time. I saw you before, but I don't know if we ever, chatted together. What's going on? Talking about binos? Yes.
We're talking about the Wiggles, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I got them. I got them here. I bought a set of them. I bought those binos. I have to use them. I still don't use them, but I got them.
Right.
I want to use them. Maybe tonight I want to go out. I don't know if I got the strength. I can just, take them out. But I don't, I'm not an expert in the skies. I look at the skies. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't even know the stars. What stars? I don't know nothing. But that's okay. I can learn.
We can figure out exactly like what we're, like if we're doing something wrong or if we're not getting a clear picture of what we're trying to look at, then show us like how that's not working. You know what I mean? Like I hear a lot of people arguing against this idea of how we're doing it or how he's doing it, his process. Mm-hmm. And I really don't see what the problem is with it. It's not like he's doing anything digitally or faking anything. He's just taking what he sees.
Check it out. It's all about common sense. When I heard about Mikey, so I checked his work. I checked his pictures. I've never seen pictures of stars like this. And I heard right away when I started investigating on him a little bit, people told me, "Oh, forget about it. It's crazy, and he doesn't know how to take pictures, and all those are chromatic aberrations and everything." So I said, "Oh, hey, I don't know nothing. Let's check. What's a chromatic aberration? There's nothing close to that. Chromatic aberrations is just like a distortion of the color. It's stupid. The chromatic aberration is never going to give you like a shape around a star. It's not going to create nothing. Now, if your phone is fucked up or if your binos are fucked up, you're going to see something like, blurred or, with distorted colors.
It's not going to be a clear picture. It's not going to be,
but not something with precise shapes. So you have to be an idiot to believe that it can be some kind of an aberration. There's no aberration here. Pictures are genuine. I don't know how we took it. It's clear. It's very simple. And the thing is that, on the other side, when you investigate, pictures that everybody accepts, like, NASA's pictures of Sirius and everything, it's all shit. It's all like blurred spots of light all over the place. No matter how big the telescopes are. And this is what brought me to make those videos on the telescopes, because what I understood is that the telescopes actually just amplify the light, so you can never see anything around. If there was a structure around the stars, like we're starting to believe so because of Mikey's pictures. But the telescopes will not be able to show that to you because the way they are built, they just amplify light. Just all you see is the light. You don't see anything. But with my phone, when I take a video of a, let's say, a floodlight, a projector on the outside, a street light. So if I zoom in slowly, I can then see that there is a structure around the light. In the beginning, I see a big blood spot of light, but then I see that there is a structure. You understand?
Yes,
the phone does that because the phone is not programmed, and maybe now with the AI, maybe they're going to take care of that too. But it's not actually programmed to watch the stars. So they never thought of this. They never thought about like
the good part is that now that AI exists, we could use it to do our bidding.
It depends if AI is programmed not to show you something. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can get past the algorithms, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that binos and telescopes are different because according to what I believe I understood, there's no complex games of mirrors inside, and actually the binos are not made really to look at stars. They made to pinpointing something in the sky, but not to look at stars. But the telescopes, they're made to look at stars. So the telescopes are were built in such way so you cannot see the stars really. This is so stupid when you think about it. When you go on internet, you type like Sirius, okay, like a big star, right? And you have no pictures of that star, not too many pictures. And when you look at NASA, when you look at all the observatories, they don't even look at close stars. All they show you is like big burst spots of lights, and they tell you, oh, they're like billions of light years away. So okay,
they're spherical, they're rotating,
yeah,
and all this.
I have no problem, and I have no problem to look at like stars far away. But why don't you look at stars that are like close already? Also,
Hold on.
No, they don't do that.
Hold on, but they are close. It's just they're taking a wider view because all the stars are here at the same point.
That's something else. But let's play stupid. Let's believe them, okay?
Yeah,
So we can communicate with them. So we have to be stupid to communicate with them. So we're stupid and we say, okay, they're far away. All right, no problem. But why don't you take a look at the stars that are like closer? You have a big fucking telescope. Does that cost money? I make you a check. I have no problem. But they don't do that. They don't do that. So that's already suspicious. Everything is suspicious about their pictures, and everything looks genuine about Mikey's pictures. Now the problem with Mikey is that he's the only one so far that took that kind of pictures, and he still has some difficulties, doing that again. Meaning that where the day he took them, the conditions for maybe like spatial, he didn't even realize the conditions that he was taking pictures in, because he did that so many times. So he shot that, and whoa. So now we have to try to do it again. And so he convinced me to get those binoculars. So I bought them, more powerful than he has, and with everything, with his method, with everything, like for example, I have that piece here, to hold the phone and everything.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go. I want to go. I wanted to go yesterday, but I had to make a video on the hurry, so I couldn't do it. I'm gonna try to go tonight and see if I can shoot something. I don't know. But here I'm in Israel, so I think there's more like drones and satellites and rockets than stars. So there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, right.
Well, trust me, Sam, you're gonna notice a lot of stuff up there. I see stuff all the time. I don't know what it is I'm recording, but there are tons and tons of things flying by.
We just had like an alarm there, with the sirens and everything. Rockets came not far away. We could hear the boom. So when they know that the rocket is going to go in the empty field, so they let it go. They don't want to spend like $100,000, arrow, to just intercept something that costs like $200 to build. Anyways, so the thing is that I'm going to try to go tonight. I'm going to have to get ready. I have my carriage there. I can just reel the whole shit like 300 yards and just see, try it. Anyways, I'm gonna see which lens I have to use on the phone, because there's like 3 lenses on my phone. I never knew what it's for. But
I know. I just realized that too. There's like 6 different lenses on the back of my phone. I'm like, why are there all these lenses on here?
Man, I have to go back to school to take a fucking picture now. Well,
yeah, you gotta take a college course to understand.
Man, what can I tell you? But anyways, about Mike's pictures, it's clear, it is logical, it makes sense. There's no other choice. than to understand they are genuine. Is not, maybe sometimes you might take like pictures with like, the color being distorted, and I have no problem with this. But I don't give a shit about the colors. I give a shit about the structure. What gives those lights, those stars, their energy, and that they are close. This is important. This is very important. But we have to, we have to start not learning how to take these pictures and do more, because as soon as it's going to be somebody else other than Mike, taking these kind of pictures, that's going to validate those pictures in the minds of the most, the people that that still don't believe them. Because now, if you have a guy in Canada taking these pictures, another guy in Israel, another guy in Papuasia, I don't know, somewhere, they're taking the same pictures. So now it's going to be hard for them to say that it's like traumatic aberrations and that, or that the guy is fucked up. That's why these pictures are not good. This is so fucking.
Not only that, all of you that try it get to see it with your own eyes.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Mike can confer that when you see this with your own eyes, it's a completely different type of thing, and it's a lot more interesting. When you
and here in Israel, we believe in miracles.
Yeah.
There's a saying here in Israel: if you don't believe in miracles in Israel, you're not realistic.
Yeah, really. Well, you might. You might have to when it comes to the.
So let's see. Let's see if I get some luck, and let's try to figure that shit out. But okay, let's see what happens.
I told Mikey what I want him to do is I want him to get a camera for both eyepieces and make sure that they're lined up so that you can take two videos and then you can match them up so that we can watch it in 3 dimensions.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't know.
They're made for it. They're made to give you a 3-dimensional view of it as best we can. So I think that we should try to get that figured out to where we can, because at the least, Mikey, you could put both screens up, one right next to each other, and we could use a program to actually watch it. You know what I'm saying? But you could still video both camera angles. And like I said, the binoculars automatically focus them together so that you get a 3D view. It's just a matter of you getting capture. And I know it kind of can be a pain in the ass because it's probably you've got something on there to be on one side of the lens that might be in the way. But that was my suggestion, was we try to get a 3-dimensional view, because then we can actually physically put that into a computer and we can render it. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We could look at something in a 3D view and we could turn it and rotate it and look at it and use software to look at it better. We could try to decide what we think it is or whatever. Then we could also show better that this is solid objects and that they're 3-dimensional. It's not just light coming through some kind of a filter and then looking like something it's not, right?
Yeah.
That's what.
Tell me something. I got a stupid question. Will the drone, might be helpful in what you want to do? Like, if you bring a camera, of course, a good camera, powerful camera, very high up, so it goes by all the, whatever clouds or pollution or whatever, would that help you? You think that could help? But the drone is like moving all the time. That's the problem. You cannot zoom really.
Way too much. You wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't
You can make like a. Yeah.
Well, I think we should eventually just get in an airplane and go 35,000 feet and take the video through the window.
The problem is you don't have like a clean windows. All the windows in the airplanes are like all like,
I would never record anything through a window ever. I don't trust those videos.
Well, what if you could get someone to get you a plane that doesn't have an augmented window, like just a flat piece of glass for you to film through, so that you don't get any.
Or just go to the top of a mountain. The same thing.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. That's true. I guess.
Yeah. How about just film?
We could still have issues with clouds and weather. You know what I'm saying? Like the desert's the best place to do it, right? Because there's less moisture.
Yeah, we have this. We have very low humidity and everything. So, but the thing is that how about if you just take like a regular video, like without zooming, on the drone, and then you on the software you just like zoom. Do you think you'll be able to see what you can see? I don't know. You have to have very good quality.
I see what you're saying. It's like a contrast. Like
drones only go to 400 feet or meters or something, don't they?
But you have to have the cameras of like 4K, 8K, 16K, like with very high resolution, so you can zoom clearly. But I don't know if it's possible. I think it will cost a lot of money. It's like for in the movie industry, they have this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. We'd have to look into it again.
I tell you something. I tell you something. If I could, because I think at one point we in order to get good pictures and to get all this, we need to have access to the technology that costs like so much money that we cannot afford it. Maybe if we break in an observatory, at night and just use our fucking telescopes, that's all, and use it. But I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna work, because again, telescopes are not made to show you details. I want you
can make a telescope with mirrors. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. But even
just focus them all inwards, and then it adds all that. Yeah, but what you're doing is then all you're doing is you're just seeing a double version of it. You're seeing a bunch of pictures stacked on top of each other, and that's how you get that resolution. That's what NASA does. You know what I mean? They compile all the pictures together, and then they melt them together in some kind of a program, and then you get this perfectly spherical looking thing. Because it's designed specifically to create that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't trust. You know what I mean?
I heard there are technologies like with microwave or infrared that can see also objects. But the thing is that again, you need like big bucks to do that. I don't know.
You also need to be able to illuminate the object from whatever distance it's at to you, if you're using that kind of a camera, because you need to illuminate it with black light before it's going to light up, right? Pure darkness. If there's a lack of enough of that energy, you won't see anything until you turn on that light and it illuminates it. So I think that's a lot of what we're having. But I think just from what we saw earlier with Mikey shining that laser up there and having that reaction with those wiggly things, that tells me that it's actually possible to hit the moon wherever it's at or whatever it is. We can cause a physical response on the moon. So that tells me that there is something to it. But like, Mikey was saying too, is that the stuff he's looking at, it doesn't look like it's a solid thing. It's almost like it's rendering itself in space. It's like really weird, and it's hard to explain that. But like I said, I think what we're seeing is we're seeing some kind of an illusion. And I think that what's really going on is we're looking through a tunnel some way, and there's a reflection off the sides of the tube, right? And it's causing it to flash over itself, and that's why everything looks augmented. I think if we're able to resolve that and figure out where the twists and the turns are and the bends are in that tube, we could actually get a real picture of what it would look like to be up there and looking through the tube, right? Rather than being down here and seeing what comes through the tube, right? Get what I'm saying?
And the thing that drives me crazy is we have to understand what's the role of that thing there, that moon. What does it do? Like why invest so much technology and so much science, so much knowledge into that thing there in the sky? What does it do? What do we need that? What does it?
What are we going to get out of the deal? Yeah, right. What are we going to get? What's going to change?
So that it has, there is a purpose, for the moon, but we don't know it. We don't, it's not. I thought it was, related to the tides, but I understood now that that's nothing to do with the tides, now the thing is that,
Well, I'm glad to hear you figured that out, because a lot of people, it takes a lot to figure. Well, I always tell them, go look at the heights of the tides in all the different places around nearby where you live. So you're going to find that there's like 5 or 6 inches, sometimes 5 feet difference.
Exactly. There's nothing to
like within miles of each other. It doesn't make any sense. Plus, the moon only goes around the Earth one time, or just over one time.
Exactly. It has nothing to do with
the time. Around twice, so you wouldn't get 2 full fucking. Yeah, tides don't make any sense.
The lie of the tides is just to validate the lie that the Earth is a solid object, and this is not true.
Well, it's trying to convince you that that the moon is a solid object, but we're not sure that it is. Yeah.
Well, we can see stars.
I think physically it is something. There's something to it, but I'm not sure what causes it to exist. You know what I mean? It might be some kind of an illusion. God created it, so I don't know. Maybe He made it. We don't know how He did it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know not everybody here believes in God, but still, I think this is.
Understand. You don't have to believe in God or in the Bible. You can take that book as an ancient book that was written, for a purpose. So
I'm just saying, I understand where people are coming from when they don't.
Yeah, I know. It's more comfortable not to believe in. Not to believe in these books.
Information in, and you have to process all of it. You have to take everything into consideration. And I try not to, even though I am biased by religion somewhat. I still try to remind myself that just because the Bible says it doesn't mean that I understand how it happened and the way it works. You know what I'm saying? I might understand that, yes, this is the way I know it's going to be, but I can't prove, how that's going to come about or whatever. It's kind of like happens on its own, and then that's when it's kind of like prophecy, right? You don't realize what prophecy really is until the thing happens, and then once the event happens, you realize all the words in that prophecy were so important, right? But it's not until it actually happens in real time before you can actually do that comparison. So I think that's then that's what the Bible's like. It's full of that kind of thing. So,
The Jolly Man wanted to see I think it was Jolly Man. Somebody wanted to see how Sam could have shown this too, but I'll show it here. So how the cell phone connects to the binoculars, and then there's a mount here for it. And then again, I like your idea, Ryan, but if I had two, it would be hard to do. But if I had two cell phones, I don't even think that would work.
Okay. Well, maybe we'd have to
If I
use
could do it, if I could do it, it would be hard to even find the stars because now both eyepieces are covered up, eh? So what do I use to look for the stars? Because I use the other eyepiece to look for the stars.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah. Because it's hard to do it just like I need
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. It would be difficult because of the size of the phone. It would probably be better if you had a smaller camera or like a better resolution, but a smaller camera that you could still zoom with is in the smaller area, so you could put it,
Or if somebody could develop binoculars with 3 eyepieces.
or just a laser or a laser finder on it anyway. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But even 3 eyepieces, because then I could hook up 2 phones to the outer one and look through the middle, like not a laser finder, but I mean an actual 3 eyepiece. One for if anybody had 3 eyes, but obviously we don't.
Yeah, like in the how do you call that movie? The Total Recall, the woman with 3 teeth. Well, the thing is that I think there is. I've seen binoculars with a 3rd eye. I don't know if it's just like something to. I don't know what it is. I saw that.
No, it's a finder.
It's a finder. That's it. That's
yeah. I don't need that. I'm too good.
But wait a second. What keeps us from using the binos? Focusing on a star without the phones, right? So it's 3D focus, and when it's focused, so then we put the phones on them and we just look at the screen.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, but then we'd have to develop some kind of a servo system that when you move the camera in any direction or whatever, it would plot it. It would tell how far it moved and everything, so that way you could.
Oh yeah, for that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need some kind of gearing module or some kind of servo thing to control that. But I'm just saying, I know it's possible. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
So in that case, we can just plug in a camera, with a Wi-Fi directed to the computer, and then you have all the softwares you want to. I don't know.
Somebody could develop a lens that fits over the front of the 2 lenses, and then focuses the 2 outwards more, so that you could get a camera on each one, and it's not in the way. You know what I'm saying? That's all possible.
Something we can figure out something. Something can with all the technology that we have. I'm sure.
Would be neat though to be able to see that picture of Sirius in 3D. That would be pretty awesome. Don't you agree?
It'd be great.
You know what I'm saying? Like like to put on some glasses and actually see both and be able to resolve it in front of you. I think that would be pretty awesome.
I think it would be
convincing to people that are guessing that you're just getting some kind of random whatever. You're just picking up interference or something, which I think is ridiculous, but still. I guess I get.
Well, the thing is that people will always be denying what's obvious. Look at all those Globers. They're denying they deny their own mother. They don't give a shit. Whatever you're gonna show them, they're gonna deny it. So I don't care about these people. What I care about is to to be able to take again another picture, just like Mikey took another one in another place, different time, different person. So I like to be able to do that. This is very important.
Yeah,
because I believe that those stars are like something else. It has nothing to do with what they show us, and their clothes, of course. This is clear. That confirms what our books are saying. But again, we need to do that, because I tell you something. If there's 2 guys taking like the same pictures in 2 different places in the world, I give you like 6 months a year, so it's going to be like 100 people going to do the same thing. Then that's over.
Yeah.
But the credibility, problems is over.
It's great that you've got the equipment now, because now you could both do you could both look at the same stars from different positions, and you can see what there's a difference. And then we'll know that you're not just seeing some random crap, right? If you get the same images that he does, then we'll know that we're not fooling each other. This is
That, that
actually
that's the whole idea. That's what we cracked like $2,500 for that shit. So we see what happens.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but the setup he's got right now wasn't as expensive. It's just the one he wants to get is bigger, and that's
Yeah. That's the one I got. That's a 110 by.
about $300 or $400 online.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever they are.
But the one I got is those are the biggest ones so far for now on the market, and after that you have like they have like 2 telescopes put together, and then you can spend like thousands, $10,000, $20,000. But those are not after that. Those are not binoculars. They look like binos, but it's like 2 telescopes. With like an eyepiece like this, and you can look down like this. So it's not the same thing. It's not the same.
Telescope is different. It uses It takes a lot of surface area and matches it into one small keyhole. That's basically what it does. Yeah. There's different ways of doing it. It's either a mirror that's in the bottom of it, so it's reflected backwards, or there's different ways you can do it. But yeah, you can use lenses. It just depends.
But to answer your question, I heard before I came in, but if we can buy like the lenses themselves and just have something built, yes, it's possible. The lens is what costs the most. That's 80% of the price, I think, is the lens. That's what's expensive. The rest, it's nothing. It's just like a
I think body. If you were to buy them from a company, you could buy them wholesale, or you could buy large quantities.
Yes, yeah. But the thing is that they have to be like very well made, like professionally done. It's not easy to find like good quality lens because there's but it's possible. Yes, of course it is. Of course.
It looks like Mikey's getting tired. I think.
No, I was trying not to laugh his face off on something.
Yeah, he's got a new girlfriend. New girlfriend?
No, I don't need that junk.
There's someone out there for you. There is. You just gotta find her. So.
No,
that's it. Mikey can find stars. He cannot find a girlfriend. What's going on, Mikey?
I'm too damn busy already. I can't handle that woman, man. He's probably right, though.
Women are trouble.
Oh, yeah. You can say that again.
I love trouble, though. That's the problem. I love trouble.
Oh, boy. Yeah, man. So I'm probably going to go, I slept like all day long.
The next thing you got a laser, don't you, Sam? Yeah, you got a laser, yeah.
I have a very powerful laser. Last time I used it, the police was there within like 5 minutes. So I had to just, it's a big blue laser that it goes down. It's not legal even. It's not.
No, they're banned. They're banned here in Canada too. I have one. I don't even know how I got it. I even took it across the border when I went to Vegas. On the way back, they even searched my vehicle, and the laser was right at the back of the door, and they said nothing.
I put my hand there, and I put the the laser. After a few seconds, you can.
Mine would burn your hand in seconds. Burn it.
Yeah, I know. It's burn.
It does the same thing. It'll burn you. Like only for close up though. If you're at distance, it doesn't burn you. But
sure.
If it's right on top, it'll burn you pretty good. Yeah. It doesn't like boil your skin, but it'll get hot and burn.
Yeah, of course.
Mostly good on dark things though. You hit something that's black, it'll catch on fire. But other than that, it's not that powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't look at it. That's all.
And they're not illegal. They're not banned. I don't know where people get this idea. There's nothing. They can't ban something. You're not allowed to use it in a professional manner or whatever, but they can't just tell you can't have this. If it exists, it exists. There's no way they could take it from you.
Yeah.
I bought it on eBay back then, and I think there was like a notice, like it was be careful because the law in your country, I think, and just
Right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I agree that you should be careful because you could hit a plane or hit somebody that's flying a plane, and you could hurt somebody. Right. So be careful what you're doing. But it doesn't mean that they should be able to take that away from you.
So let's see what happens. But
you're a grown man. You should
of course. What do I need a laser for? When I look at a star, just to point direction where I have to look at.
Sometimes to confirm what you're looking at. I don't need that anymore, but in the beginning I needed it to help find Polaris, because you might see 10 stars in the sky with your eyes, But when you use the binoculars, it becomes 200 stars. Now
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
exactly.
well, instead of having 5 big bright stars that you can see, now you got 20. You got to figure out, well, which one am I looking at?
Yeah, I get you.
Which 20 of the big stars that I did not see 10 seconds ago, which one am I looking at?
Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
thought of it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So now you've got to like, I can kind of figure out what direction I'm going, but it might take me, well, it doesn't take me long. I can find a star in 8 or 5.
So it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. Then I'm like, it's like, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I tried to look through a telescope and just focus on the moon, it took me a while just to get to look at the moon, and the moon's big.
Yeah.
Like I had a hard time all the time getting it to move the right way because it's backwards.
Yeah,
You know, when it works, everything's upside down and backwards. So it screws your whole head up.
When I look at Polaris, there's the one star they say that's supposed to become Polaris in like 10,000 years, whatever. It's like that far from Polaris. But when you do that, there's still 10 or 20 other stars just as almost as big as the one star that's going to become Polaris. So it's kind of hard to decipher which one is Polaris, but it's generally Polaris is here, and then the other star is here, but Polaris has more color to it. So it should be easier to find. And the other ones are just kind of whitish looking. But there is color to Polaris. And a lot of the bigger stars are colored.
I know that lantern looking thing is pretty awesome, dude.
The which?
Took him. The lantern thing. The picture of Sirius, it looks like a lantern.
A night bug. I call that a night bug.
You know, it has a triangular shape at the bottom, and then it has a flat spot, and then there's like something at the top. It's like a lantern.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it describes that in the Bible. That's why I think it's odd that you found that. It's to say it literally confirms it in a way. You know, it's pretty awesome. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's
cool.
About the skies. It's like it's so interesting. There's so much we have to learn. We have to learn everything. It's like we just got here. It's just like we just got it from. We just fell off a fucking UFO. We don't even know who the fuck we are. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what we have to learn everything.
Yeah, it makes me want to build something that I can fly around in, so I can go around and chase after these things and figure out what they are. You know what I mean? Like that'd be cool, right?
Where's that? Isn't there a way that I can put us all to the left side? I can't find that icon.
Yeah, you can. I'm just not sure. I don't know what the buttons look like.
It's not this one. See, we're on the bottom.
Clicking it doesn't have to.
There is. Just play around. You're gonna find it.
Oh, there it is. It only shows 2. Oh, that's the one. Okay, because I've been wanting to show something. I don't know what I'm going to show, but something.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, those. I'll show. I guess. Okay, let's go. Cancel that. I'll show the one with the lights. What Sam will be looking at eventually. Yeah. Back this up here.
Some of the comments.
Oops, let's get us bigger here.
What was banned? Sal says, what was banned?
What am I seeing here?
Not shy.
Another one there. Jesus. See, that one almost hits that one almost runs into a star.
Whoa, what the hell? What was that? You're not moving?
No.
What the hell is that?
Oh, you can record 100 of those at any time, any night. 100 of these, anytime.
Huh. Do you need ultraviolet to pick it up, or is it just the regular camera picks it up?
Just your cell phone hooked up. You can even see with your naked eye in the country here.
Well, yeah, I have seen stuff like that moving, but it's not very often I see it. Not like that anyway.
What can it be, like a drone or some sort, some drone, some shit? What is it?
Well, I don't
No,
know.
I think it's a living thing. Is what I think.
There's
Going
one here.
straight. It's going
I
straight.
think those lights you see in the sky are alive. I think they're beings. Sometimes.
I'm gonna find the one. It's on one of my shorts. I have one that'll. I think Ryan may have seen it. I've got 3 lights in formation. It's not an airplane, not military, nothing. It made no sound. 3 lights, big bright lights like that. 3 of them all in formation, and at like 30 or 40 seconds or something, independent of these 3 lights, there was a red flash as about the same size as three lights, bright flash, and as they keep flying, right in the between all of them. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find it here on.
I've heard some rumors. Like I said, I don't know if this has anything to do with
It's
it.
not a
I've heard
UFO either. It's not a
I've
UFO.
heard some rumors that Japan or China has been sending over these cameras that take digital pictures. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
lights they flash.
Yeah,
And I think that might be what you're saying. I don't know if that's really true. That just could be a cover.
Yeah,
You cannot zoom on that stuff. You cannot zoom even.
You're aware that there's drones above you all the time taking pictures
Of
constantly.
course.
That's how you get all their information.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
But-
course, there are
And
thousands
you
of
wouldn't
like
see the highest stuff that you wouldn't.
Of course, this is
Even a school bus at a certain distance disappears. You know what I'm saying? You can no longer see it. You know what I'm saying? Like even though the school bus is pretty big, if you get far enough away from it, it disappears. It would be cool if we could see further by looking up instead of sideways, but I just don't believe that it's true. I think that it's just, that's just literally a deception, because that's what they want you to believe, right? That's basically what they tell you is, oh, well, you could see infinitely if you look straight up, but if you look left or right, you can't see but just a couple miles. Well, how much sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense. Right? Like they tell you one thing and then they break that law completely to tell you this other thing. And then they do the same thing to the next thing. It's like, dude, how many times are you going to break the law that you just said had to be true before you came over to this part of the law? Like, how many times are we going to do this before I realize you guys are lying to me?
Exactly. That's what I tell them, all those scientists that come to my channel. Say, science has to make sense. It has to, because if it doesn't make sense, it's fake. It's bullshit.
Yeah, because the truth is logical.
Exactly.
Right?
It makes sense.
It makes sense to you until you understand it. But once you do, it all fits together, and it's like, oh, I get it. It's not one of these things you have to sit there and keep remembering how to understand it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I need. Shorts. Am I on the stream? Or what? Yeah, there we go. Okay, shorts. Which one is it here? I've got a few lights. Here's a funny one. These ones almost collide.
Whoa. Those are like drones of some sort. I don't think it's an animal because it goes straight. So
I don't know how.
So that's a machine of some kind, going straight from one point to another. Yeah.
Why are they illuminated?
Because if it's metal, automatically it reflects the lights, that from the moon around, or
No, that's nonsense. No, planes don't even illuminate like that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to find the one with 3 here. I got one with 3, but I gotta find it here.
But also they need to be seen because they can cause accidents.
Maybe it's it might be on my videos. I'll find it here. Might take me a while.
So what do you think, Mikey? Is the middle one I have to take? The middle camera I have to use?
Yeah, you'll have to figure that out yourself. Just put your finger on the lens, and then zoom in to about 3, and I think that's probably the middle camera there.
If I look on
here it
internet,
is. Well, I'm reviewing it. I'll have to. Yeah, here's I'm reviewing it on a. Yeah, check this out.
yeah, that's the middle one.
Right there. So I'm going to back it up. Right there. Are those your notifications, Sam?
Yeah. Let me just shut off.
Yeah, that's
Here we
loud.
go.
Yeah, you see the flashlight.
I cannot even stop it. I cannot even stop there's so many that I cannot even stop it. Just keep on going. It's fucking crazy. Oh shit.
There it is. You see the screen there? Sam.
Yes.
I'm trying to show you.
Yep. Tell me. Oh yeah, the formation, like fucking Star Wars, man.
The flashing light.
Where's Ryan? Left? Where's Ryan?
Well, I'm showing you a light. Who cares about Ryan right now?
I see the light. I see the light in the same time. I can talk and see. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, see it's just a 5-minute video here. And see, I'm so quiet when I'm recording this video because I don't know what the hell I was recording.
Oh yeah, you can see that's an aircraft, some kind of an aircraft.
No, it's not.
Well, there's a red light in the middle of it. It's like 2 wings and a body, something. No.
Okay, I know what planes look like. I've recorded them before. This is not an airplane. Airplanes make noise.
Maybe not from a distance or something.
And airplanes have beacons on them that flash every 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, there's a beacon there, like a red one, but usually it's like red and green.
And blue.
This can be all kinds of spy machines, fucking war machines. We don't know who the fuck they have. I don't know what can tell you. If there is a beacon there, like a red beacon going, on and off. So it's a machine.
It's not going. Well, it goes off once during the 5-minute video.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't know there's no law. There's no fucking a law. That
on airplanes there is.
Yeah, but
on the wingtips. It's not on the wingtips.
Yeah, on regular airplanes with regular people, but there are airplanes that are not like normal airplanes. Like war airplanes. You don't know all the secrets of the army and all that shit. What they have.
This is a silent airplane with no jet engines on them.
That's a machine. That's an airplane of some kind. With different features, with
no engines on it, right, Sam? Come on. Seriously, it was. I didn't even know it was in the sky. It didn't make any noise.
It depends how far it's in the air. You cannot hear like a plane.
It
Like
was
you know,
right
like
above
20
my
meters.
town. It was right above my head.
Or if you say it's right above your head, so that's okay. That's normal. That there's an anomaly if there is no noise. That I don't know here. You know, when I watch the picture, I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I've recorded planes through my binoculars many times. I can see the actual plane. I can see the beacon lights on the wing tips, not an independent one flash throughout the few-minute recording.
The thing is, we don't know all the planes that they have, you know, Mikey. We don't know all the fucking aircraft that exist in the fucking army, navy, the fucking, you know, air force. We don't know all those things. We know what we know. We know about like Boeings, which, you know, regular planes, but we don't know about, you know, secret planes that we don't know.
Planes
We
make
don't know.
noise, do they not?
We don't know. Maybe there are that don't make noise. You know.
Well, this isn't a plane. I know. I would know it's a plane. Anyway,
you remember in the Second World War, the Nazis had like, you know, those submarines there. Do you know the engines they had? They didn't use like fuel. It's like that's were engines was like that could run forever without you know, stopping and without making noise. So there are technologies today, you know, to have like engines without noise going. So we don't know. Maybe they have that kind of shit, like planes,
again,
spy planes, warplanes, but without noise, without a regular engine, without like fuel.
Again, what's making it appear as a light on 3 different points?
I don't know the plane. I don't know how it's made. I don't know what's the purpose of that shit. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's self-luminous.
It's not a commercial plane. That's what you want to say. I agree with you. But again, we don't know all the fucking technology they have. We don't know this. This is not aliens. It's not a fucking, you know, it doesn't come from Mars. It's human. It's made by humans, and we don't know where it is. But it's like some kind of a machine. It's not like or is it like a boat? It's not a boat. It can be a plane. It can only be a plane. We don't know what kind of plane. That's the problem. But that's you know, that's an aircraft. We don't know how it works, its purpose. We don't know. But this cannot be something else, Mikey. It's an aircraft of some fucking kind. That doesn't go.
That's not an airplane. We're gonna zoom in on it. We're gonna investigate, because that's what I do with stuff. We're gonna investigate what that is.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the screenshot that I just took, and we will zoom in on the thing, and we will see if it's a plane. So you show me where the plane is.
Well, it's not a plane. It's like street lights. It cannot be like street lights, you know, moving in the sky. So it can only be what I believe it's like 1 or 3 planes, but we don't see the structure in the night. We just, I don't know, some kind of fucking aircraft. You just see the lights. You don't see the entire body.
Okay,
so that's my opinion. I don't know.
I'll just say it again. I'll say it again.
What do you think it is?
I've said it before. I have recorded multiple planes in the night sky. I can see the physical plane in the night sky because the beacons illuminate the plane. There is not a thing here to look at. There's nothing here to see other than 3 lights and then a red flashing light. This red light would be illuminating the bottom of the plane. All of these lights, you would see the entire plane here. I don't see wings. I don't see a structure. I don't see nothing.
You know, there are planes that even the radars do not see.
Yeah, I know, but my camera would, because it's physical. The radar is not going to show up on radar, but the plane is still there.
I think what you say is logical. It makes sense, but I don't know if we have all the information to think with. You know, this is what I'm trying to tell you. There is things out there we don't know, Mike. There are planes we don't know. There are technologies we do not know. And this is apparently technology you don't know, because you don't see the plane, you see the lights. So what else can it be?
Well, it's not.
What do you think it is?
I think it's 3 independent lights flying in formation.
But again, it's like the light is provided by something, some kind of a body. It has to be. It's not like a light alone. A light doesn't go alone. Like, you know, it's not like a sun. It's like there is something like, creating the, giving the energy to those lights. So it has to belong to some kind of a body, some kind of a structure.
Exactly, but where's the structure here?
So this is what I'm saying. It's the same thing with you. When you say that it's, two different lights, I have no problem. The thing is that, again, we should see a structure, and we don't see the structure. But somehow it must be a structure, because lights don't go alone like this. So there is a structures, but we don't see the structure for X reason. We don't know. We don't know the reason why. But so that's why I'm telling you, this is some kind of an aircraft, some kind of something. But again, an aircraft that's not like all the aircrafts we know, because the lights do not reflect on the body. I don't know. Now, if it's like independent lights, it's like a formation. It's like, three different aircrafts together with a fourth one leading. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you say something is not what you think, you have to, to give an opinion of what you think it is. You understand? And since we don't have an opinion of what it is, so I go back to the first thing, that I believe that is some kind of an aircraft, but we don't. That's not a regular aircraft. That's all it is. That's all we can say.
But where is it? Show me the craft.
Well, I can show you the lights of the craft, because lights cannot go alone. So there is a structure out there we don't see.
Okay.
It's not because we don't see that it doesn't exist. That's the whole point.
Well, let's do some research together then. Let's
go. Let's see if there is something else.
Airplanes in the night sky.
Go to pictures, yeah.
Yeah, lights in the night sky. In the night. See if we have any freaking. Yikes. Yeah, this is stupid. What the hell? What's wrong with Google?
Just put planes beacons in the night.
Beacon. How do you spell beacon?
C-O-N. No, I think, yeah. I think so. No, B-E-A. B-E-A-C-O-N. Well, I gotta teach you English, Mikey. What the fuck is going on with you?
Yeah, probably. Oh, I don't understand fucking English whatsoever. That's pathetic.
Yeah, that's Hebrew to me.
Okay, well, yeah, it's Hebrew to me. Fuck.
Okay, so can we see planes sometimes? Just the beacons without the plane in the nighttime.
Yeah, there's this one.
So
I can usually see this through the binocular.
We see the structure there. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Well, let me investigate on my side here.
Let's see. If there's anything high up in the sky here. See here, there's this one. See even this. You can still. Here's a good one. Where did that one go? This one here.
This you can see the. You can see the three lights.
Shows up. What? No, like I said, I've recorded multiple airplanes in the night.
Yeah, no problem. What you recorded is genuine, but it doesn't mean that all you see in the sky is what you recorded before. I understand. It can be something else. We don't know. We don't have enough information to think with. That's what I'm saying.
And these beacons are always going. Yeah, see, and then the beacons here. See on this plane as it flies by here.
Yes.
See now the blue beacon light on the left means it's coming, and then the one on the right means it's going. So it depends on what way you're looking at the airplane. You can tell whether it's coming towards you or leaving you. And then we've got these three lights connected underneath the airplane, and these are always flashing. And again, we can see the airplane, the fuselage, in the part of the engines. We can see that it's a physical thing.
Well, on that what you can see, but you can see that the three lights themselves, they look like the three lights that you got just like from a different angle, different distance.
Yeah, but I can see the plane connected to them.
Well, here in that picture, yes. Maybe in different pictures, you won't be able to see the plane. It's possible too. I don't know. Everything is possible, Mikey. But
No, I know, but
one thing is sure.
but I can record the firmament, and yet not an airplane flying over top of me.
Yeah, of course, because it's not the firmament. It's not the same thing. Of course, you can see the firmament.
I know
Not
the airplane is closer.
it doesn't matter. It depends on the lights.
Yeah, but the airplane is not closer, and it's illuminated by lights. It's no, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna record airplanes 2 or 3 times the next night, and I'll
but
be able to show you
again,
the structure.
Again, it's possible. It's not like impossible that there are airplanes, not commercial airplanes, not regular airplanes that you know of, airplanes that you don't know of.
Yeah,
That are
that's
like
fine. I know.
and they and according to the angle you look at them, or maybe it's possible just see the lights. I don't know. I think it's not something like something exceptional. It can be seen. I don't because it has to be an aircraft of some kind, even if we don't see the body. It has to be something has to drive these lights. It's not just lights don't travel like this, or on their own. They have
Well,
to belong to.
the lights that I showed you before coming into the frame, those are
Yes.
independent lights flying by themselves, and they're illuminated somehow.
Yes, again, but if we could zoom on it, we should see that it belongs to some kind of a device, a machine. It cannot be like even a night bug is has a body. Of course you can only see the light from where you are, but that light has to be provided by some kind of a structure.
Possibly a satellite.
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know, man. I don't know. We have this
Because that's what we are told they are, satellites moving through the sky.
Yeah, but, there's a drone is a satellite. It doesn't have to be in deep
No, I know,
space.
but I'm talking about let's go to physically characterizing something. Yeah. I'm a human being. I'm nothing. I'm not a car. I'm not a fridge. I'm not a table. I'm a human being. So let's divide things up. I know it's a satellite of something in description, like the moon is a satellite, but we cannot connect our TVs to the moon and get TV from it, or watch a sports channel off the moon. That's a satellite off of the satellite of the supposed globe. I'm talking about physically flying electronic device satellites that connect radio and TV, those kind of satellites.
Okay, so it's possible, no problem. So it's again, it whatever it is, it has to have a structure. So even a drone is an aircraft. When I talk to you about an aircraft, I don't mean only like
yeah, but we would hear it and we would see it.
I don't know. How do I know?
I do, because I see airplanes at night through my binoculars. I don't see a structure when I'm recording those flying lights or those 3 lights in formation. I do not see a structure there.
No problem. What you've seen is true, but you have to take in consideration that you don't know what's out there, and it's possible that there are planes that even with your binoculars, you won't be able to see them according to the conditions you are when you look at them. It's possible. That's not something hard to to understand, because the logic will want that most of the airplanes you're going to be able to see them because you have the structure. You can see that structure, but maybe there are some that sometimes you cannot see them. I don't know.
Okay, but let me give you an example. I recorded, I think that video was 2 minutes long, though, the actual video. So when it was above me, when I was starting to record it, it flew from above me, and for the last 2 minutes, it flew over top of the trees that I could not record after that. So from this degree of angle to that degree of angle, that plane was not visible, no matter what angle that it was at.
But maybe the structure of that flying shit there is
black.
No.
Well, it has to be black because I can't see it.
No, because what you see is that the structure of the plane is bigger than the lights. So of course you're gonna see the body. But imagine like a structure, a metallic structure, and the entire floor, the entire belly of that thing is the light. So you will never be able to see the structure, because the entire bottom of the device is entirely covered with light. So you won't see shit, because now there's no way the light can be projected on the body, because the light is covering up the entire bottom, the entire belly of the of that aircraft. It's very simple.
Well, that's not simple because I can't see anything there. It's not. You just can't
That,
just. Just
that's what it is. If I show you,
that's globe logic. You just say no, it isn't, and that's the answer.
no, well, I'm telling you that it's physically possible. If I put a flashlight, straight in front of your face, you won't be able to see the flashlight. The light won't reflect on the body because all you see is the light. The light is the entire body. It's like covering the entire surface of the flashlight. So if you have like an aircraft or a drone or some kind of a satellite of some kind, which has a light that covers its entire, an entire side of himself, like so you won't be able to see anything. Makes sense. Now I don't know what kind of device it is. I never seen that. I don't know, but I don't say it's not possible because I don't know. I have not enough information to think with to say it's possible or it's not possible. But physically,
Here's one. I'm going to go back and analyze my video, and if I see the stars coming through the frame here in behind this, that means this is three independent things. So I'm going to go back and do that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I don't see anything here, and nobody can tell me that there is something there. I just can't see it. There's nothing there. So there's no engines. It made no sound. There was no three independent sounds.
So what can it be? What do you think it is in that case?
I don't know. It could be not even out here. Maybe the military doesn't even know what's going on because
that's the right answer. What you said is the right answer. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a regular plane, like you said, because you would have seen the structure. The light on the
well,
body.
It could be a plane worth $15 trillion, top secret, and nobody has ever known of this airplane for the last 450,000 years. But it's still going to be physical.
It's physical. It's of course physical. It's totally physical.
But yet there's no physical thing here. So I'm going to go back.
No. It's not that there is not. You don't see. It's not because you don't see that there is not. That's a big difference. If you investigate, you have to be very precise. We do not see any structure. Doesn't mean there is not because you don't see it. I don't see the fish in the sea, but there are fishes in the sea, but I don't see them.
Yeah, but you can put a camera down there to see them.
Yeah, but when I'm in the beach, I don't see them.
Exactly. You can put some binoculars on your whatchamacallies on your eyes and go underneath the water, and they're there. I cannot put something on my eyes to see this nothing that's there.
Apparently, there is nothing, but we know that there is some kind of a structure that provides these lights. So it has to be something.
I don't think so. I think it's not there. I think there's three independent things flying. That's what I think.
Yeah, but how do they fly?
Put my video through my CapCut app and go through that exactly. And I'm gonna
and they fly in formation, like for the Independence Day parade, like this, like for formation planes, like formation lights.
Yeah.
It's possible. Hey, I'm open. Everything is possible.
Yeah, but they're not looking through with binoculars.
Yeah, I know, but you have a problem because your binoculars show 4 lights and no structure.
Yeah.
So you got a problem now because it's hard to understand. It's
yeah.
like, you don't see the structure with the binoculars, and so we have a fucking problem.
But we're assuming that there's a structure there. We're assuming
exactly because we don't know. We don't see the structure.
I'm not assuming that. I'm assuming that there's 3 independent lights there, and one shows up for some reason, whether they're communicating with each other or that's an independent light, because that light was not in the entirety of the video, just that one split.
Yeah. Like a beacon, like a fucking beacon.
Well, not really. It just flashed once. That's not a beacon. and then so in between those 3, before it flashed, there was still no structure. And then even now we got another independent light flash that did not illuminate any structure whatsoever. So yeah, there's many things that I question that will nobody be able to explain. But I will put that through my CapCut app for sure. Exactly. That would be interesting to review. And I would love for those 3 lights to be going through and a star showing up behind that. Oh, I would love that. That's going to easily prove.
What do you think? It can be something natural?
I don't know. I don't know what but you'll understand this conversation that we're having right now after about 6 months of staring at the sky. You will see so many things that you'll just be like, you'll just watch. You won't be able to say anything.
But with the experience I have on the field, about investigating of about all kinds of subjects, I can tell you something. There is a pattern when you investigate. Is that you're always going to be surprised, of what uncovering all the time. You're never gonna, don't believe we don't know everything, and every time we get surprised. Every time we get fucking surprises. It's always like we don't know. Oh shit! I didn't think of it. Oh shit! I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And this is how it works. So the thing is that nothing surprises me anymore, and I'm ready for anything. But the thing is that again, I know that lights cannot travel without some kind of a structure behind it, around it. It's not like it's not photons. It's not like fucking photons of light going randomly. And actually, you can see that there is an intelligence because they all fly together in the same time at the same
Well,
speed.
they could be independent. So
No problem. Just like planes on the 4th of July, they're independent and they fly together. I have no problem with this.
I zoom into them to see the plane. That's the issue. I can't see a plane there.
That's another thing. So now, of course, it can be like different independent devices. I have no problem with this. No problem. The only problem is that it's not because you don't see a structure that there are no structure
or hear them.
That's another.
Having 3 planes is going to be even louder. I would know that's a plane 100% going over my head, but I don't hear the plane.
If you went over your head, you should have heard the noise. Electric scooters, those electric scooters. You don't hear them.
Yeah, so airplanes are electric now. Jets are electric.
I don't know. Well, if you cannot hear a scooter, if it's possible, they can do that with a fucking bike. Why not with the plane? Why not with a boat? Why not with, I don't know. Everything is possible. That means, it's not like they don't have the technology to do this. It's possible. It's very possible.
It also could be possible. If anything's possible, those could be 3 independent lights.
No problem. I have no problem with that. But again, as independent as they can be, they need to be provided by some kind of mechanics structure. They cannot be like just photons of lights. It's just like thin air, like a fucking ghost. It's not. That's what I'm saying. We don't see it. We don't hear it.
They could be 3 satellites moving through the sky, and they could all be.
Yes, 100%, of course. Or it could be that that night you've been drinking too much and you've seen some shit that don't exist. But then in that case, that means that the camera also drunk.
Problem I got.
That means that the camera also drunk with you.
Yeah, now the camera's drunk. Yeah. That's probably why I can get these stars, because I have a sane mind that can think. So now my camera knows how to think and record the stars.
Yeah, you're in.
Where's my video? Did I?
Connected to the fucking camera, man. That camera is a part of you, man. It's a part of you.
Yes, exactly. Where's those lights? I wish they could put a title on my shorts, but you can't.
You gotta get organized with your fucking pictures. You have to put everything together, but you have so many pictures, so many videos. It's not easy.
It would take me. I need to hire somebody to do it. I could sit here all week and still not have shit together. I've got like 20 SD cards full of shit, man. My computer's full.
And you want to hear what I think? I think that there are things in your SD cards that you don't even fucking know about.
Yeah.
I'm certain, because it's too much. It's too much to see. You have to see everything in details, and it's like fucking thousands of hours.
That's why I keep reviewing and going over. I go back and I'm reviewing what I've recorded, and that's how I keep coming up with all this different stuff. All these pictures I've got.
But I think you know what I think. I think that you have enough experience, enough knowledge about this whole shit, that I'm sure that you can figure out how to take these pictures that you took again. I'm sure you can take like hundreds of them. The only thing is that you don't think of it. There is something is missing. Something is like, there is something you don't think of, but you have all the keys in your are inside you.
Explain this. So for 6 months before I got those pictures, I was doing the exact same thing.
You don't know that, because if you were
I
doing
do.
the exact,
Yes, I do.
maybe there is something that you don't see, something you don't realize, something you don't, there's something that you know, and that you just don't think about it. You just don't think about that details.
I do the exact same thing every single night.
Okay, so maybe it's linked to the time you're doing it, or the space. That means the
Well, what
place.
I think I have to do is actually sit out there all night and stare at the stars, because there might be a 30-second period where that star becomes clear. And that's it. This is why I don't like what some people say about me, and when they don't even do the work themselves. I'm not saying you, but I mean other
No,
people.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That it's not easy.
The amount of time and effort I put into recording the stars, and I get bullshit on it. When
Now, let's think, you and I, okay? The pictures that you took from those stars there, with the structure and everything, it shows us that there is a structure, around the star or behind the star. I don't know what the fuck it is, but there is a structure. So now, knowing this, I'm thinking to myself, is it possible that structure disappears for like 99% of the time, and then just like reappears like 1% of the time? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I believe that it stays there. It's like all the time there. We should be able to do that all the time.
Here's another example. The stealth fighter can fly over top of your house at dead of night. It still has lights on it. Whether it has lights or not, you could zoom into that at night and know that it's a structure, right? It could be going to whatever the top speed of that thing is. You can still tell that it's a top secret military plane, but it's not top secret anymore. You can see it. I can't see anything there. I didn't hear anything. I was outside. I randomly looked up and.
But maybe the phone that you used then is not the same phone that you have today, right? You changed. It was like a S22 or some shit.
Yeah, but it was still high quality. It was.
We don't care about the quality, but it's not the same phone. Yeah. We don't know how the phones are made. We don't know the phone.
It wouldn't matter if I used a camcorder from 1995. I would still be able to tell that there's 3 independent lights there. Back then, I would say, hey, yeah, well, maybe the quality isn't good enough. Maybe there could be something there. But we've got serious technology now, man. I would tell if a cow farted up there. Come on, it's silliness. That video is probably on my computer somewhere. I know it is because I've transferred most of my stuff there. But I will email it to myself and I'll put it through my CapCut video editor, and I'll slow it down frame by frame, and I'll see if anything ever shows up within that 2-minute video, or however long it is, minute and a half, or I can't remember how long it is, but it didn't take long, that's for sure. But it was going slower than an airplane. I would know if it was an airplane because I hear planes all the time fly over. So.
And you didn't hear no noise at all, nothing.
Nothing.
Not a wind or something like some.
No, there was nothing. I'm gonna review it and watch it again.
And if you had to estimate the distance, above you, like what would you say, like 200 yards, 3 miles, like?
No, yeah, it would be lower than an airplane, that's for sure.
So I don't know what it is. So what's the distance? What do you think the distance was between you and that plane there, like above you, like?
Yeah, I would say 3 to 6 miles.
3 to 6 miles.
It would be lower than an airplane. Airplane flies.
And it wasn't going that fast, right? It was going slow.
No. Yeah.
So that's also maybe one of the reasons, that we cannot hear it, because it goes slow, so it doesn't provide much like noise. But anyways, you should have heard something. 3 to 6 miles, you'll hear something.
No, I'll bring it up. I'm gonna freaking. I'll put my earbuds in and listen. I'll sit in the washroom, focus. Block out all the swearing and cussing that comes in through my head all day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna analyze that video, man. There's got to be something there. It's too. But the thing is, depending on whatever angle I was looking at, it looked like 2 of those lights were. So we got 2 lights here, and then there was like kind of one off just a little bit. So it wasn't a triangle. It wasn't. 4 equal sides, 3 equal sides. There was 2, and then a 1, kind of like off like this, and then there was a red light that went just like that.
So what you said is possible. Then it was like a formation, something 3 independent, machines, whatever, going in formations together. But again, it's not an animal. It's not like it's not natural. It's something man-made.
Yeah. Well, it has to be. Yeah, I get it.
Of course.
But whatever. Yeah.
So the thing, what seems incoherent to me in our reasoning is that what's the point into having a silent, aircraft, but on the other side put like a three big fucking lights that you can look at it. So if I didn't want people to detect me, I wouldn't have lit any light. Also, you understand? So
yeah, that's another one. Yeah. I don't know. I wish I can. Yeah, I'm gonna. And I wouldn't have it saved on here, I don't think.
Maybe. You remember what you told me about your weird phone calls there? Was that giving any details here?
Oh yeah, the DJ New Moon got the same phone calls.
Okay, in my channel there, in some comments, there's a guy saying who did that to you.
Oh, and there was a comment in my last live stream from yesterday stating how come he didn't take the $67 million. I didn't say anything about $67 million.
I loved about that.
So he was in on it, or he knew who was in on it.
Moon
thinks it was probably McToon, because the way he was talking to me sounded like it was almost him, the way his sentence structure was. And he did say Mikey to me. And I think, and then he says, oh, well, we can meet at a state building. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't live in the States. How would I meet at a state building here in Canada? I live in a province, So they was mixed up things. Yeah, it was not right.
I told you it's a prank. Those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was a prank. I just was, you guess,
what a bunch of fucking pieces of shit. Those are pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's all right. I know what I'm doing is right. They wouldn't. That's But the thing is, whether they were globies. Here's my example. Here's a good story you brought up. I explained this earlier to somebody. Here's the thing. It's the information they knew, not about me, about the Earth. They weren't talking about the globe.
Well, maybe it's bullshit,
Let me explain. They were talking like as if they were government agents and they knew exactly what was in the sky, because they described to me things that I don't even know as a flat earther. So
maybe it's bullshit, Mikey.
Globy know it. So these are hired agents for sure within the Globy community.
But wait a second. How do you know what they say is true? So it might be bullshit. I can also tell you, okay, you know what? The Earth is actually, run by, plutonium.
No. They explained to me what the stars were, and whatever they said sure sounded proper to me. No Globy would describe the stars like he did.
Well, it has to be convincing, So
yeah,
that's the whole point of a prank,
That's why I think they were government agents. Even they like McToon. If that was McToon, he is a 100% hired government agent. 100%. He would not know the description of the stars. He would not know that. He wouldn't care.
I know what to tell you, man. This is like
whatever they knew was very odd. But yeah, I gotta find these. I don't even know how to look up videos on my stupid phone.
Okay, man. You just you hit me up with all this shit. Now I really want to go out now and just
go record the stars, guys. Yeah, thanks for the super chat there.
I'm gonna get dressed and I'm gonna take these binos and I'm gonna get out.
Yeah, go have some fun. It'll be entertaining.
I don't know if I can get anything, but
yeah, no, just.
I'll call you from my phone. I call you from the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Be in touch with me. I'm going to need you. Sure. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. Bye. All right, guys. Yeah. Thanks for the super chat there, Mule Fan, and we will. I I got to find my video here. I want to analyze I already did analyze it. I'm sure I did. Because I didn't know what I recorded there, guys. But we will... what's going on here? Are you wanting to come back on? No. He's done. So yeah, guys, I'll end the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. I need to find my video, whether it's on my phone or on the computer, but I need to check it out, guys. Yeah, peace out, guys. Have a good one.